just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you by these beautiful singlets that are dropping 6 p.m. next Tuesday for Bloke Club members only. As you can see, we've got the classic colours. They are beautiful. They're the old school cut. You can wear them on the lawn, having a beer on an arvo, going to the gym, playing Div 3 touch or oztag. You can do it in all of those things. 6 p.m. next Tuesday. Join the Bloke Club. Only Bloke Club has access to them. So next Tuesday, if they sell out in that first 24 hours, just like the shorts, it means that the public don't get access to them. So join the Bloke Club at www.bloke.club, completely free, next Tuesday, 6 p.m, limited supply. Once they're gone, they're gone. We may not even remake these. So get in while the getting's good. Also brought to you by Bloke in a Bar, but I've got the great Tom and Eddy and Tom from Hello Sport. How you going, boys?
Fantastic, Dan. And I will say, beautiful singlets. Disappointed you weren't at least wearing 1, 2 or 3 of them for the podcast.
Look, the body isn't in the shape that I feel it needs to be to show these off. But I've had a photo shoot with a bunch of current rugby league players that can show them off the way they need to be showed off.
You're not happy with the pipes?
Look, it's just not where I want to be right now.
I think
and also,
I think the pipes look pretty good.
No, I'm very white around here because I haven't had my shirt off in the sun for a substantial amount of time.
You could have got a fake tan.
Yeah, solarium in the studio.
Yeah, I'm a bit anti-fake tan. You
don't go for a spray every now and then?
No, never been for a spray.
Mate, it's gotten to the point now where they can be very good.
Look, I understand it's more accepting, but there's something about my old school ways that I just can't. My old school country ways I can't shirk.
Yeah, you're used to just more of a tan that's earned through hard work in the fields.
I'm used to tan lines, and then, sometimes in summer when I get a bit adventurous, take the flannel off, keep the jeans on, the boots.
And just fucking digging.
Just digging.
Fencing,
digging, doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
chasing pigs and
pigs,
sheep and
wrangling goats.
Yeah.
All that kind of shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you do that better, but I'm just saying, other people, can do it as well.
Of course.
So did you take you got the shirt off in the photo shoot? Like the pipes out in the photo shoot?
No, not me.
Not at all?
No, not at all.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Just not there yet.
Disappointing.
Just not there yet. I don't want to do. I want to do it
How far
justice.
off you reckon?
Yeah.
I'm quite a ways off.
How far? Like 6 months, a year, 2 years?
Give me a good 4 weeks if I trained
4
hard.
weeks?
Yeah, definitely. If I
So
trained
you're
hard.
close.
Well, no, if I trained hard.
Oh, okay.
4 weeks, I can whip myself into shape pretty quickly. The body remembers. It always remembers.
Muscle memory. But you're not going to do that in 4 weeks.
I'm not going to do it in 4 weeks.
Okay.
You're not going to do it at all?
I'm definitely not doing it at all.
Okay.
But it is a possibility.
We will never see the pipes. Is that what we're hearing? Because that's going to disappoint the audience.
Look.
It's disappointed me.
No.
It's disappointed Tom.
Look, I'm not going to say never. As the great Justin Bieber said, never say never.
Yeah.
I think he said.
that.
I think he was the
No,
first one to
that
say
was him.
that.
He was the first
How
one
did
to
he
say
say
it.
it though?
He said it in a song.
Yeah.
But also, I've heard
Can
him
you sing
say
it?
No, I've heard him say it in interviews as well.
Oh, okay.
When he says, check out my new song, Never Say Never. And
How's it sound?
No, he usually sings it.
He sings it.
yeah, usually. But, if you want to get the A version of that, you can go to YouTube.
You're not going to give the listeners a little...
Nah, you can if you want. You want to try?
No, it's, mate, it's your
pipes,
song.
no Bieber.
It's your song. It's your podcast.
You want to give it a try?
Mate, I want you to do it. That's I need. We aren't seeing your pipes. At least we can get a bit of Bieber out of you. I mean,
Yeah,
fuck.
I mean, look, it's all a slow progress. We'll get there eventually. I think in the new year I'll get the pipes out.
Okay.
In the new year, sometime next year, we'll get the pipes out.
Maybe we do a pipe show where all our pipes are out.
Absolutely. All of our pipes will be out on a show next year.
Yeah. Welcome to the
We'll
pipe
see
show.
our pipes. Huh?
Yeah. Welcome to the pipe show.
Yeah.
We will get our pipes out next year, guys, together as one, and we will show you our pipes.
That's a tease for 2022.
oh, man. I
We're
tell you,
behind a paywall as well.
Year
like
of the pipe.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
year of the pipe. I mean, it's going to be a good year if it's a year of a pipe.
If it's the year of the pipe, fucking hell.
Which pipe are you going to get out?
Look, the the biggest one.
Yeah. Okay. Probably a good play there.
Now, onto the stores in Spotlight. Only 9 this week, so my staff have let me down. It's supposed to be more. It's supposed to be at least 10, but it's all right. Cutting corners. That's great to hear as an owner.
Yeah. Well, coming into the holiday period as well, when
yeah.
people are buying piss, it's like you see in the corners
yeah,
getting
it's
cut.
great. Cutting corners. We'll be down at the bottom of the table soon. Wooden spooners cutting corners. But we've got BYO Sellers Anna Bay, Heathcote Celebrations, IGA Ritchie's Tarrant Point, Courtyard Esplanade Cairns, Cecil Hotel Goodna, Bowl Barn Townsville, Duke of Edinburgh Walkinston, Eaton Hills Hotel, Urban Cellars Labrador, and also, before I forget, Jarrell Yao Yi and Matt Gillette will be pouring beers in the beer garden of Eaton Hills this Saturday from 1 till 4 p.m. The great Matt Gillette Jarrell Yayi, Eaton Hills, 1 till 4 p.m. They'll be pouring Bloke in a Bar on tap.
Hectic.
On tap, where it's the best. On tap, it is another level. So get down there, 1 till 4 p.m. Meet Matt Gillette and Jarrell Yayi, Eaton Hills, beer on tap. Boys, it's been a huge week in sport. We had the great Cambosis, creating a bandwagon for the entire country to jump on.
Yes.
We've had the cheese, with one of the great interviews of our time, or at least impactful interviews of our time.
Big dick interview.
It's a big dick interview. Now, sometimes big dicks need to be hidden. Sometimes you can reveal them. I feel the public is split on this one, whether he should have brought the big dick out or should have just kept it in his pants.
I just think that there was a chance that he wasn't being ridden from the base, and maybe he was being ridden from up in the head, so there was a little less control.
That does, yeah, okay, I can see that. I'm still not convinced the base is where you ride a shaft.
Yeah, but the public are. The public
are convinced. So you think that his big dick was getting ridden from the head, not the shaft?
I just don't think it was the rain. The controlling of it was not. I mean, you need an expert. Like I would.
Well, do you think you should contact YKTR and say, look, YKTR, you need to ride a big dick from the shaft?
Look, if that is the case, then I'd be more than happy to go in there and show them how to ride a big piece from the.
Could you also say this though, Tom? Some dicks can't be tamed.
That's true.
That's
it's like big wild Broncos up in the hills. Sometimes you just can't wrangle them.
You can't break in every dick.
You can't break in every dick.
You've always said that.
Yep. He's got it tattooed on his arm.
It's a tale as old as time. You're right. Big interview.
Great interview. I enjoyed it.
Now, we'll talk quickly about the Cambosis. And also, I agree with you guys. I don't know if you went down this path, but I know you went down the bandwagon path.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think bandwagons get a bad rap.
Bandwagons are fun, dude.
Like,
hop on the bandwagon.
Get
Everyone's
on it.
having the time of their life. Everyone's yipping, yahooing, kissing each other, hugging each other.
Celebrating
greatness, celebrating victory, celebrating a great Australian,
the ferocious
Australian
one.
Things.
I also got on him fucking at $14 for the decision win.
So you believe me when I gave you the deep insight of his warrior nature and obviously the similarities between yourself and him.
I mean, Spartans back Spartans.
So it was like a similarity bet.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself in someone.
I see this guy for what he is. He's a Spartan warrior. I'm now on the bandwagon. I was on the bandwagon before he won, though. So
is that technically not a bandwagon then? You can actually say, look, I'm pre-bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm a ferocious fan.
Yeah,
from way
we
back.
were on in fight week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pre-fight we were on.
If you're on pre-fight,
we're on him.
I think pre-fight's acceptable.
Okay.
I'm happy with that. We also were following him on social media before he won, which I assume plenty of people have jumped on post-win.
Yeah, he went from 120, he's like fucking 300 and 400 now.
Tom and I were hanging off the back of the bandwagon helping people on.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you could understand their plight. The mainstream media didn't really give him a fair shake.
They didn't give him any
talk about it.
Literally. There was no shake.
He was shakeless.
He was shakeless, which was surprising because it was one of the most historic nights in boxing history for Australia. But yeah, bandwagons, they get a bad rap because the opposite of bandwagon is no bandwagon. And what would you rather?
Well, it's a wagon without a band on it.
Yeah.
I'd rather wagons with bands on them than no bands on them.
100%.
100%.
100%. And who gives a shit if people start getting around an Aussie who's done great things? It's not the end of the world. There's always a little, the purists just go, oh, mate, I knew about him fucking 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
There's like all the dribblers who are like, mate, fucking,
I love the purists, dick measuring contests of I was there when he was fucking born.
Yeah, exactly.
It just gets absurd.
I knew him before he boxed.
I literally knew his dad, which obviously made him, which means that I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
I knew when his parents got together that he'd be a world champion. It's the breeding.
I can tell.
The breeding's so good.
Dad was a tough guy.
Yeah, tough as nuts.
Oh, mate, you think his dad's a character? You should have met his granddad. Fuck, mate. No, that's who really was
mate,
the man.
You should have seen fucking Leonidas, his great-great-great-granddad over in fucking Greece.
You ever been to Greece? Didn't think so. You're obviously not a fan.
You should have seen him in 300.
Yeah. You haven't seen 300? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, he's related to Leonidas. I was there. Free.
His granddad said this is Sparta and kicked the cunt in the fucking well.
That's when we knew he'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that is of that lineage is going to be great. Mm-hmm. And I could see that. You could see that. You could see that.
I could.
That's why we're on before he won.
Yeah.
Because we know what we're talking about.
So what would pre-bandwagon be like? Would it be a concert on a wagon? If you said bandwagon, would you say, look, I was actually there. What would it be? What's the next step up?
So we're saying before the bandwagon, maybe it's just a wagon without a band because there's not many people on it. Once you start getting people on, you got to fucking provide for these people. You got to start performing.
Yeah. Where does bandwagon come from, Matty?
That's a great idea.
Great question.
It's a great idea to look up that question.
Thank you. Thank you.
But are you saying the evolution of the bandwagon is a concert wagon? Is that what you're getting to?
I'm saying that, yeah, like sometimes there's got to be a step up from just a band. Because, like, yeah, it's good to go down your local and watch a band. But to watch a concert, maybe even a festival.
A concert on a wagon?
A festival on a wagon. A wagon train, maybe. You attach extra wagons.
Very close. Circus on a wagon.
It's a circus on a wagon.
Yeah. So the word wagon was coined in the US in the mid-19th century simply as the name for the wagon that carried the circus band.
Okay.
But why do I want to hop on that if someone's
Already
won
there.
something?
Well, I think it's more like you're just hitching yourself to like the thing that everyone's paying attention to. So it's like, oh, the circus wagon's rolling, and you're like, oh, I'll fucking hang out here. I like this.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
Does make sense.
Completely off topic, but it was just while you're doing your Googling, and I don't know if this is true, Dribbler DM'd us saying that the high five was only invented in like 1977. And there's
Really?
a photo of the first ever high five.
There's a photo of the first ever high five.
Now, I did no further research
Okay.
into it other than just what I saw, but I just thought that the audience, we come to you with the fucking big stories.
Surely a high five happened before 1977.
I'm sure it did as well, but
Well, you could argue that it had been done here and there, but it wasn't used as like a
mainstream celebration.
mainstream celebration. It'd be
packaged
like,
up.
you know, like, I mean, we've done that.
Yeah.
But it's not like a universal.
Yeah. Someone may have dabbed before, but until fucking old mate from the Carolina Panthers did it,
Well,
No,
I
it
mean,
wasn't really a
even
thing.
Usain
Name
Bolt,
escapes
like he
me.
used to do. Do you do that before?
he did the lightning bolt. Yeah,
The lightning
But
bolt.
like, I'm sure at some time he turned that way quickly, and that could have been technically
Correct.
that first.
So he makes a great point. And obviously, the origination of the handshake to show that I didn't have a weapon.
Yes,
Like,
that's great.
people would have
though.
been joining hands at some point, but it wouldn't have been a handshake. 1955, though, does seem fucking late.
I actually said 77,
Did you say 77?
but I don't know.
So that
1977 is
seems
late.
very
Seems far too late for a high five, right?
far too late. I mean,
Like
where's
you're
the high
telling
five
me,
been?
I've just conquered the whole of fucking Rome as a German barbarian,
Hmm.
and I didn't give my mates a high five. Fuck yeah, bro, we did it.
Bang.
Well, you know what they were doing before the high five? Arse slapping.
Oh, okay.
So the high five actually came from the low five, which was part of African American culture in the 1920s. But yes,
Funded by what culture?
the low five,
No,
Yeah,
what
but
culture?
Which culture was it?
African American.
African American
They
started
are,
culture.
it says.
They are trendsetters.
They are.
If I ever saw trendsetters.
So when did they go from low to high?
Well, yeah, they're saying, I mean, there's no concrete date, but like Magic Johnson claimed he invented it in the 1970s. There's others
Magic
that have suggested that it originated in women's volleyball circuit of the 1960s. But it's been part of the Oxford English Dictionary since 1980.
Wow, it's
High
very
five not
young.
as old as you think.
In your playing days, were you a high fiver? You'd go over, bit of meat. What do you get up to you?
Single, double. You just
Yeah,
going straight for a
kinda.
hug?
Fuck, I can't even remember, to be honest. It was more just like
Vibe.
it was all vibe.
Yeah.
It was all vibe. Like, I actually, when the Roosters started doing that, I actually really appreciated that. I thought they were bringing a lot of nuance and, I guess, pizzazz. That isn't pizzazz because it's very simple.
It's
but
understated pizzazz.
it's understated pizzazz. Exactly. Perfect. Nailed it. And I liked it when they brought in the handshake. I even liked when the Panthers, you know, cheeky young fellas they are, they decided to give a bit understated pizzazz with the handshake. But it was all vibe for me. So as you know, when you're in the vibe flow, you can't remember what happens when in the vibe flow.
Yeah,
So
you
I
just-
can't remember. I have to go watch some tape, to be honest. It'd be a good reason to get the highlights up.
Let's get the highlights up. 10 minutes of them on YouTube.
In oztag, we're more of like a
Slap.
Oh, just like boom, boom, boom.
Is that because
Yeah,
there's so
yeah,
much
I
of
like
an
that.
importance placed on the dexterity of the
you know what
finger
I
that
mean?
you don't
It's
want to hit too
Oh,
hard?
yeah. Now I
Well,
think,
I'm just saying, I don't do a whole lot of.
But you got to be grabbing tags, dude. You don't want to be fucking injuring the hands.
But I'm just saying, it's just easy just to go a little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
we also- you know what, now that I think
because
of it-
then the hands down low, and you can play that off the arse
But
as
in-
well. You can do a bit of both.
But in saying that, I want to get a bit of touching. I want a shoulder touch.
I want to feel
So
the
like
chest.
usually when you score a try, you know what? It was a hug. Big tries hug.
Yeah.
It was a lot
Oh,
of
of
hugging.
course. Of course.
And so when you score a
But
try,
I'm talking about after you've hugged and you're on the way back to the halfway line.
it is a
that
touch.
where, you know,
That's
the
where some slaps-
fucking...
It is touch, but I want to get some touch. I want
Yeah.
to touch you. I want to feel you. I want to breathe you. I want to be inside you.
Do you ever get inside blokes after a try?
Look, I'm sure I got inside a few.
Get the highlights up. Sure, we'll be able to see a bit.
They probably cut away from that.
It's not a try if you don't get inside a bloke after it.
Definitely.
And so
Hopper knew that.
Hopper knew that well.
He invented.
He didn't. He just
invented
tried
that.
to have a crack.
He didn't. He was actually doing
He'd
it
be like
more to
competing in a
opposition.
tackle. He'd be like, right up.
Get inside you.
And we get.
He
I'll
was
get
giving
inside you.
high fives to other blokes when it comes to getting inside them.
Yeah.
Like as in the opposite team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's high-fiving their assholes.
Is the high five like? What was the absolute pinnacle of the high five? We're assuming it was around 1980s.
Surely the 90s.
It came in. Do you think it's a 90s thing? Is it on the way out? Is it still with us?
Oh,
It's
no.
on the way out.
Do you reckon it's on the way out, or do you reckon
Yeah.
it's like fashion? It's just having a bit of a fucking. And then
Nah, it's
gonna-
on the way out because
like
even
flares?
as
Yeah.
you said, when you do it, like let's say I score, it's just like that. It's not really like. Whereas a high five is you've got it.
High five's like a.
You can
Yeah.
fuck a high five
Yeah.
up as well.
Whereas that is just a touch.
Gotta look to the
You're getting a
elbow.
touch. You're getting a touch like that. That's just getting a touch. You know?
Pinball.
Yeah. So I think it's on the way out. High five. I
think so too. Well, look,
Yeah.
based on what I'm seeing down the oztag,
I hope we aren't.
I'm worried about the
Yeah,
high
I'm
five.
hoping we're not seeing
I
the
am.
end of the high five. I'd much prefer if it was just having a lull like flares. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, it comes back up.
A flare's back.
Well, they
I
have
think
been
they've
back.
come back. They've come and gone. I think they came back and now they're out again.
I
You were
used
seeing
to own a
blokes in
pair of
flares?
white flared jeans when
course
I
you did.
was 14 years
Fuck
old.
me. Of course you did.
Mum got them for me.
Flares,
I
leather
rocked 'em.
jackets. Holy
Yeah.
I
fuck.
tell you what, I don't think will ever come back. You'd see on like NBA draft day in the early 2000s, and they'd all be wearing those really long suits, like down to their knees.
Loose baggy. Well, Jordan used to play golf in those,
Jordan,
didn't
like I'm going, what the fuck are they?
You know what's not coming back is shoulder pads in suits.
he? I mean, I wouldn't mind if they
When
did.
my mum used to wear shoulder pads,
Yeah.
like back in the late.
That was our
90s.
parents' sort of
Yeah,
80s,
that
90s.
shoulder
That's
pads
not
used to be a
come
vibe. I don't know what the vibe was.
Is it like, look, it's very aggressive, like the shoulder pads, like I'm about to fucking
Yeah.
chop you.
We get it. You got shoulders,
Your mum was
dude.
chopping blokes at fucking down the fucking.
Bang,
where she
down
was
the
working.
pub, boom.
Shoulder charge. Sunny Bill and dudes at the pub. Or chicks. Just
Yeah,
as long as
whatever
you're
you
putting
want.
hits on.
Whatever you want. If you're wearing the shoulder pads, it just puts you in the mood.
Do you think we'll see shoulder pads back in rugby league?
I hope we do.
Because they didn't really do shit, did they?
I mean, they do help a little bit, like in like the impact of things. But when you're out there, it's so intense, you don't really feel anything, like unless you fully get rattled. But yeah, I mean, they do give you confidence. I think it's more just like even the headgear. The headgear is actually worse for you because
Yeah.
it gives
Oh,
you
is
a
it worse?
false,
False sense of
false
it.
sense, but also like you take more impact and your brain moves around more because it's not the heart. It's not that is giving you a concussion. It's the fact your brain is moving around.
Yeah.
So the harder you get hit, the more your brain moves around with the headgear on. That's why there's an argument to say, like NFL, for example, that they shouldn't wear helmets because
It's like a
then
double rattle.
they wouldn't fucking.
They lead with them.
They lead with
Yeah,
their helmet,
yeah,
and so if they weren't wearing helmets, they wouldn't lead with their fucking heads. What do you got there, Matt?
I remember the New South Wales team doctor told me once that the only use for headgear, like practical use, is to stop head cuts.
Yeah, cuts. Yeah, it's really not. It's all just about comfort and confidence, really. But yeah, the bandwagon, as we were discussing earlier, very underrated, very underappreciated, and I'm sick of it getting a bad rap because I'd much rather George Cambosis have a bandwagon than not a bad bandwagon.
Exactly. Did everyone go, oh, this guy's sick, didn't know about him, now I'm on board.
Yeah.
As opposed to,
I'm not going to get on this guy who's the greatest fucking lightweight boxer in the world right
Yeah.
now.
As opposed to a dude sitting there like 10 seconds before the fight starts going, last chances to get on, last chances to get on.
All aboard.
And then like he wins, he's like, get out of here, fucking fool.
No more.
You didn't know him. You didn't know his dad fucking when he was kicking cuts down holes.
Exactly. Like,
and you're standing there going, there's fucking room on that bandwagon.
plenty of
Even in
room.
children, there's room. There's room on these boats.
Fucking oath. There's plenty of room on a bandwagon. They're almost infinite room.
Yeah.
So
Like those trains that you see in India where there's like fucking, they're all just hanging
That's
out
his
the side.
bandwagon
That's
right
the
now.
Cambosis.
That's what you want. You
Yeah.
don't want like Billy Zane in Titanic when he's fucking on the lifeboat and he's kicking people
Kicking
off.
people off. No.
It's like, don't be Billy Zane.
Don't be Billy
No,
Zane.
no,
in
Billy
this
Zane is the
situation.
guy that's like, you didn't know his fucking great grandfather, so fuck,
Yeah,
what are
yeah,
you
yeah,
talking
you're not
about?
allowed
Billy
on.
Zane's a purist.
Yeah.
Billy Zane sucks.
He's a dog.
Like, great actor in that movie, but
Yeah.
his character he's playing, whose name escapes me.
I know, I was trying to think about that as well.
Just dog cunt.
Carl?
No,
Carl?
it's not.
Cal.
Cal.
Cal Hockenden?
Cal.
That's a great callback.
Cal Hockenden?
No, it's not
Cal-
Hockenden. That's not nice.
Cal Hartley.
Cal Hartley?
Hartley?
That's a great.
Mr. Hartley?
If you nailed
Cal
that,
Hartley?
that's outrageous.
Callendon Hartley.
Can you check
Bang.
it, please, Matt?
He's obsessed with Titanic. The
You have
boat
brought it up
itself
a few
and the
times.
movie.
Callendon
Callendon Hartley.
You've brought it up a few times.
Callendon?
Actually, you know what?
Cal's short for something.
You know what? I can see the romantic bloke in you because I saw you put up a little picture of your lovely lady the other day. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. He's
just a little bit of appreciation.
No, he's definitely got the romance.
Okay.
Yeah, I got romance in me, definitely.
Okay. Well, I mean, you brought Titanic up a few times and throwing a little post up, just give a bit of love. I like that.
Yeah, happy 30th.
Yeah, very, very
Straight
romantic. I can see you as Jack.
What'd you say?
Caledon Hartley?
Close. Caledon Hockley.
Hockley.
Wow,
You're close there.
Yeah, I pay that.
Did we pay that?
I pay that.
I think
Yeah,
you pay that. You pay
You
that.
had a big weekend.
Yeah, fucking.
Still a bit groggy,
coming good now.
but you're clearly coming good.
I mean, I'm a couple of syllables out.
Synapses though starting to fire, mate.
It's starting to fire. You're back. You're back. You're coming back up to the top of the roller coaster.
Yeah.
And Friday you'll hit the top, and then you'll come back down.
Straight back down.
So yeah, look, don't be that guy not letting people on the bandwagon for Cambosis. I'm sure Cambosis, everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah. He's also a great dude. I've been binging interviews. I was doing pre-fight and now post-fight, and I'm like, oh, he's actually just seems like a really
You're all
good
in on
guy
the
as well.
bandwagon.
Oh no, I'm in.
You're sitting with the purists now. If you're
I'm
consuming
basically a
YouTube
purist
content of Cambosis, you're on the
I've
purists.
been DMing him fucking like head movement tips and shit. But
You
other than
DM your clip going,
yeah. I was like, dude, if you ever when you're back in Sydney, let's get down to Coogee or Clovelly, sorry, and we'll train.
we'll try.
Yeah, you've seen it, hasn't responded.
But I think
He doesn't want those hands.
he doesn't want those hands.
Doesn't want those hands.
I mean, he can take Lopez's bombs, but he's not going to be taking a Birmingham
well,
bomb.
I'm a heavyweight. Let's be honest.
You just lean on him, bro.
Yeah.
But now you can see when I say, like, he is that guy. Like, he is the kind of guy that he truly, in his head, is a Spartan warrior. Like, he's going away to war. His grandfather, who he's named after, passed away. He didn't even grieve him.
Yeah, I saw that as
He
well.
even said, like, I've got to go and grieve my grandfather now. He had his child on the same day that his grandfather passed away. Like, this guy his mentality was truly, I'm away training for war. Like, that is the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
Even when I first met him, I thought, I'd seen interviews, this is like
you know him,
2017. I mean, I had a podcast twice. Picked him up real early.
Yeah.
Just whatever. I mean, to be honest, I'm a purist.
Yeah,
through and
you
through.
are. You are.
Purist
You
through
put
and
up that old grainy photo.
But
and you
I'll
were
let you in.
fucking.
I'll let you in. Like, everyone's welcome. The
Okay.
more people. I'm not going to be a hater of
You're not
purists.
going to Billy Zane us.
I'm not going to Billy Zane, yes. I'm not going to do that. No way. But when I first had him on and I'd seen interviews of him before, I was like, oh, surely he like turns off a little bit. And he was like, nah, he's that 24/7.
Really?
The second interview I had with him, he was a bit more chill because obviously we're mates. So,
Yeah.
you know, you're only
No,
mates
you're
to
good.
that. Yeah. But yeah, he's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
He also dresses very well. He's in that pre-fight press conference where he's like in that fucking turtleneck with his glasses and he's wearing like gloves and shit. I was like, oh, dude, he
looks the part.
looks the fucking part.
His business inside and outside the ring.
Yeah.
Mate, if the fucking mainstream start pumping that boy up, then they're going to... Pay-per-view days are coming.
They're coming.
Because he talks the talk, looks good,
And he's
walks
got
the walk.
his two sort of next up opponents are fighting this weekend, not each other. Tank and Devin Haney.
Yeah,
Haney?
Devin Haney.
I'm fucking catching up, but
Has
He's been
Tank
called out by
lost?
Garcia. Jake Paul's fucking messaged him.
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Rogan posted him.
yeah,
Yeah, he did.
exactly.
Joe likes what he saw.
Dude,
Dude, how
Joe
could
likes
you
what he
not?
saw.
Like, he was a 13-1 underdog and he fucking mauled the cunt. It was like 10-2. I'd also love if we could have a Dean Ritchie fuck counter on this episode. That might be tough for you, man.
Yeah,
but-
keep the fucks to a minimum. I don't want
Sorry.
to get cancelled.
Sorry.
It's really uncouth of you.
No, it isn't boorish.
Yeah,
Oafish.
Jesus.
Very oafish.
You're a troll. You're clearly a troll.
I'm clearly a
You're troll. But yeah, absolutely incredible from Cambosis. Business inside and outside of the ring. Did he put the notion that you need to fight Aussie plumbers to have any real success in Australian boxing to bed? Because he didn't fight very many plumbers before he went over there. He was all business.
You could argue that had he fought plumbers, Denon,
Finished in round one.
he would have, enjoyed the
him out.
spoils of, Australian boxing pay-per-view glory, but he also would have been potentially embraced by the Australian media. More people would be on the bandwagon. That's probably the only negative I can see from ascending to the heights of the lightweight world. Hasn't affected him at all.
But
he's
maybe
not-
it would have happened quicker if he fought a
But
few
he
more
would have been a
plumbers.
household name
Okay.
fighting for those belts had he fought plumbers on the way up.
How many plumbers do you think is required to get to that point where you're a good pure Aussie boxer now?
10?
Well, I'd say 70% of your total career fights.
Plumbers.
Can
you throw a few chippies in there and sparkies? Or
Look, a tradie of any kind is certainly good. You've got a sparky, a chippy, but I think obviously plumber is primo.
Well,
Plumbers
look,
primo.
you know, I'd say this, Tom, if you're a chippy, you want to know your way around a plunger.
At least. At the very least.
At the very least.
If
And
you
if
gotta
you
unclog
do,
a
and if you do, then okay,
Okay.
I'll go with you.
So the only knock we can put on Cambosis for his rise to glory, and it is glory, is the fact he didn't fight enough Aussie plumbers.
Yeah. Could I ask you a question? Because he's now got he's got all but one belt. Is that correct?
It's dodgy. Like apparently, I think like there's a
Because Heaney's got one.
yeah, but it was kind of given to him. Like it's got to be assigned rather than just
Right, he
one.
didn't win it.
And so like something weird happened before. And I don't know the in-depths of what happened, but I think it was like assigned to Heaney.
Right.
And there's a bit of controversy about it actually should be Cambosis, and he technically is the unified winner. And so like even if you ask him, are you the unified champion?
But there's unified and undisputed, right? Is unified when you got a couple and undisputed when you got all of them?
I don't know that deeply about it.
Right.
All I do know is there's a bit of weirdness, and I'm sure someone will correct us in the comments section. There is a bit of weirdness about one of the belts. It's like the ringside belt or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's got to be assigned or some shit. And apparently it was given to Heaney and whatever, whereas it can't just be one.
Okay.
Again, I would need to know the details, but I know that there is something dodgy about it.
Can someone else leave a comment if you don't know the answer? But so he's got 3 or 4 belts now. Is he now a 4-time world champion? Because he's got all 4?
Full-time is,
Or do you have
is
to defend
defend
them?
it full-time,
Right,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure. If you're a full-time world champion, you've got to have, pretty sure, you know,
You've got to have defended it that many times.
Yeah, I
as
think,
opposed
again,
to having
correct me if
4
I'm wrong.
belts.
Yeah, 4 belts doesn't mean you're four means you're, I guess, 4 federation fucking world champion or some shit, whatever the... But yeah, I think you've got to defend it. Because like, if someone says 2-time world... Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've got to defend it 4 times.
Defend your belts.
Defend your belts. And he looks like he's going to. And you know what's crazy? Or what's awesome is he looks like it's going to be in Australia. Or
Yeah.
he's going to push for it to be in Australia.
Yeah.
Mate, if we could get the great Cambosis Jr. walking out at ANZ in front of 60, 70,000 people, you know.
Sunday Arbour.
With us, me, one of his Spartan brothers. I'll dress like fucking Tyson Fury did if he wants.
I think he would. I think he'd allow it. I just think that you need to meet each other first so you can connect on that Spartan level.
Oh, definitely.
And then he will say, you know what, you are one of us. Come into the camp.
Well, you obviously facilitate that meeting because you guys are good
obviously.
mates.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Could you imagine the amount of interviews he would have to do now?
You'd be getting pumped.
Oh, my God.
It would get fucking repetitive, and they'd be lined up one after another. So you'd just be the same thing.
Not to mention the fact that you're probably fucking a little concussed from the night before, and you're just like,
Yeah, a little. Oh, man, he'd be working on like little sleep. Man, what an incredible performance. One of the I just feel grateful we got to, you know, you get to, when you get older, you realise a moment is a moment.
Yes.
And you get to experience. It's like when you're younger, it's just like you don't really appreciate. This is like one of those things we'll talk, mate, fuck, back in my day, George Cambosis.
like McGregor's run, fucking Tyson's run, which obviously we're too young for, but like I always am
Absolutely.
like jealous.
It's always referred to.
Yeah.
Always.
Or even like Tom Travojevic this year.
Tommy Turbo's year.
Just sitting there going, holy shit, he had 6 line breaks. So incredible Cambosis. I'm sure Tom will reach out and you guys will connect when you get back.
I'd prefer he reach out, but we'll talk.
Yeah, you don't reach out, do you?
We don't reach out.
I'm sure he'll reach out.
He'll reach
bro.
out.
Yeah.
Now, we'll talk about it quickly because obviously you guys aren't Brett Finch. You are other people. You're other human beings.
different people.
With different opinions and thoughts. The Brandon Smith interview, more has come out from it. They've really milked it for all it's worth.
Oh, they've milked it.
So
Fuck me, they've
just
milked
quickly,
this thing. There's no milk left in this thing.
there's no milk and there's no mayo. There's no mayo.
No.
Just quickly, thoughts on the interview. Consider all things considered, as in like Storm's opinion, as a Storm fan, but also as a consumer of content in the game. Thoughts on the interview?
Purely on the interview, I thought it was a great interview. I thought like it was. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting the whole way through, and I think in context, despite obviously a couple of things, but broadly, he came off as a good bloke to me. I thought it like he seemed like the sort of guy. I was like, oh, he seems like a cool dude. He's kind of what I expected. There is obviously elements to it where I can see how like a fucking Storm fan is like, you're talking about wanting to go win a comp with the Roosters. Like, there's a few things there that if they weren't included in the interview, then I think it would have been play on. Look, were we sympathetic to him because it seems like he was wearing a punters and dribblers hat exclusively for 7 days straight? Potentially.
We still don't even know where he got it from.
You guys aren't biased, though.
But he looks fucking great in it.
We aren't biased. I think that he looked good in the hat. I think the hat played. I think the hat played very well. If he wasn't wearing the hat, who knows how bad this thing could have got.
Well, I dare say, Tom, and I hope I'm not drawing too long a bow. I think he's out of the game of rugby league.
Without the hat.
If he hasn't got that hat on, it's almost like a shield. Like he's still copping it, but with that hat has saved his life.
It's almost like a dribble free card. Like, you know, journos go and look at it, or even the Storm and go, oh, he's just dribbling.
He's just a dribbler.
He's a dribbler.
Okay.
He's got it on his fucking hat. He's just dribbling.
Okay.
He got in the zone of dribbling. Maybe he said a few things that were pretty offensive to Storm fans, but he's in the dribble zone.
Yeah.
Let him go.
Dribbler flow state.
Dribble flow state.
And that hat'll do it to you.
Yeah.
It'll get you going. What I liked about it as well is like when I was listening to it, I'm like, oh, he's just a dude. Like that's how you would talk about it to your mate.
Yes, exactly.
If you were going through it, you know what I mean? Like it was completely unguarded in that way, and that's why I fucking loved it. But yeah, obviously, if you're a Storm fan, might have pissed you off just a tad when he said that he wanted to win a comp with the Roosters. I was like, okay, yep, sure. I get it. Like, what would I do if Tommy Turbo said that?
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't, but like, you know what I mean?
He'd never say that, but yeah. There's also an element though, and like, again, I'm playing devil's advocate / he was wearing a punters and dribbles hat. So like.
Which saved his life.
It saved his life.
Yeah.
Like, there's an element as well where obviously if he'd said to the Storm like he was going to give them the last right of reply to all of these offers he was getting. But I do also think there's an element where like the Storm publicly stated their intention at least a little bit by going, well, we're going to sign Harry Grant for 2 years. So like, and you want to play hooker full time. Harry wants to play hooker full time. We've signed him long term. There is an element where and then they're going, go have a look. Like the Storm have kind of made their position known.
Not really.
Like, to a degree.
They got rid of Finucane so they could keep the cheese.
Oh, is that why they got rid of Dale?
Well, as in not got rid of him, but that's why they didn't have enough money in the cap.
Because they were going to try.
They're going to try to keep the cheese.
Right.
And also, I don't understand that argument because guess who was starting hooker this year when Harry Grant was playing? It was Brendan Smith.
Yes.
So there's no indication that the Storm were just like Harry Grant's got the position, whatever. This year they chose Brendan Smith to start at 9. So you can't to expect that the Storm have to go, oh, we're going to get rid of Harry Grant just for the chance to keep you, and if we sign Harry Grant, then we've just got a cop. You can do whatever you want. I don't know about that.
But don't you think the Storm could have gone? And again,
I don't think they re-signed him recently.
Hat.
That deal was
this year though. He re-signed this year. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if it was. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was.
I could certainly be wrong. We know that.
I don't think he re-signed.
That we do know.
That we do know.
Highly likely.
I think he had a deal signed like before he went to the Tigers.
Yeah, I thought he got extended though. Again,
maybe.
Okay, I remember what it was. He had an option, like a mutual option in the last year, and that got activated this year.
Yeah, so it's just part of that contract.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So it's not so much like they were like, well, we want fucking.
Yeah. No. Okay. I'm pretty confident that Dale Finucane, they had no money in the cap because they're trying to keep it for Cheese, and also they had said to Cheese like, go out, get your market's worth, then give us the last right of putting something together for you. Yeah, so I mean, I said my opinion on the last podcast, but was it really interesting from a non-Swarm fan perspective? Absolutely. Was it the best thing for Brandon right now? Probably not. I think that you need to just wait a while, let the negotiations be done. Do things. I just feel like when it comes to business, just be as safe as you can be. Him coming out and do the podcast now compared to 3 or 4 weeks when it's all done. There's no difference for Brendan. He gains the same.
Yeah.
He gained nothing by doing that on Sunday. Like that insight he can give us any time in the year.
Yeah.
So I just reckon there were just a few things where you're right. He was speaking like a dude to his mates. But when you're doing that and just talking about yourself, I think that's okay. But when it's business and it's involving a lot of people, just got to be a little bit smart. And he's already come out and apologised and said, sorry if my words offended you, blah, blah, blah. So,
what'd you make of all the fucks?
Yes, we will get into that. So now the gates have been opened. The floodgates have been opened. There's an angle for people to really dig deep into the interview and try and get just squeeze as much controversy out of it as they can.
Yeah, but also with no context.
Yes. So now someone has come out Was it the Telegraph that initially came out and did this?
Yeah, Dean Ritchie.
So Dean Ritchie has come out and counted the words that have been swear words in the interview.
I think we call that fucks per minute.
Fucks
FPM.
per minute, apparently. FPMs.
Yep.
FPMs. Similar to PCMs, but in an interview context.
Yeah, so it's FPMs and CPMs.
Yeah, and cunts per hour.
Cunts per hour, yeah.
Because
Fucks
there's
per minute.
3, so it's usually around.
Yeah. Cunts less.
It's
so you
about
go by
1.5 per hour.
Well, it's a different metric, Tom.
Yeah.
And it's used because the usage usually,
Slightly down.
well, significantly
Significantly
down.
down. Fucks per minute, cunts per hour.
Cunt's not used that often.
No.
I've used it twice now in a minute, but you know what I mean.
Well, your cunts per hour is through the roof right now.
I've genuinely speaking, Tom, had a pretty high CPH. CPH.
CBA, yep.
Probably higher than most. So I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be C-bombing too much because then it loses it becomes
Luster.
uncouth.
Yeah.
Well, it needs to be like a, okay.
It needs to hit you. It needs to be a gut punch.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And it hits you.
It-
If used correctly, it can hit you
it can
square
hit ya.
between the eyes. Like,
Oh.
okay,
Yeah.
this Blake knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Blake's
Absolutely.
a real deal.
So Dean Ritchie has come out and said, quote, what kind of uncouth and loudish society do we live in when a high-profile sportsman is applauded, even celebrated, for saying F and C numerous times on a public platform? Just quickly, I don't think he's being celebrated
Thank you. I
for
was going to
that.
say, he's at no point has anyone at any stage applauded him or even celebrated him for his fucks per minute or his cunts per hour. That just
Yeah.
hasn't happened.
I think that he's being celebrated for his honest insight that we never get as fans.
Correct.
Now, this is quote. We're going back into Dean Ritchie's quote. What kind of boorish and crude online trolls actually think this is acceptable? My goodness, hasn't society become coarse? Brandon Smith dropped 61 F-bombs times, 61 F-bombs
They fucked it up.
times and used the C word 3 times in a 55-minute interview. I'm not sure what is more unpalatable, Smith's choice of words or the oafish support he's received. The trolls claimed Smith was at liberty to express himself that way because this wasn't a mainstream media and the podcast owners posted it with an explicit warning. These podcasts attract big names in a sport where mainstream media, which is trained and trusted journalists, are often denied access by clubs, and this is exactly what happens.
Trusted's an interesting.
I think some are trusted.
It's interesting.
I think
While
it's interesting use of words.
While the Twitter haters had a hissy fit over criticism directed at Smith, the more considered fans let their thoughts be known via an online Daily Telegraph poll.
Behind a
where
paywall.
70% voted for Smith to be fined by the NRL for his language. Just quickly, if you're doing a poll on your platform, it could be biased.
Also, how many people voted?
But yeah,
And almost so, how many times did Dean vote?
Yeah.
Smith called his coach, Craig Bellamy, a true coaching master, an old effer. He demeaned his club and teammates, even embarrassed the universally liked Dale Finucane. Bravo, Brendan, and bravo to your online fans who lapped up your profanities. What a proud day for our great game. Now, don't go too hard in the paint.
No.
We'll keep
gotta
it as
be
calm as
measured.
can. Got to be
Absolutely.
measured.
You gotta-
And thoughts?
Can you just do me a favour and scroll back up? Uncouth, loutish, where else? Boorish, crude. My goodness, hasn't society become coarse? Like, does anyone believe, Dean Ritchie, who seems like just a guy's guy, does anyone believe that? Like, does anyone believe that that's really how he feels, or is he just playing a role? Which, again, I'm cool with. Like, I like that we always talk about the importance of the rugby league media and how much, like, you know, they sort of narrate the crazy soap opera.
They're important to the game.
They're important.
They're
Like,
absolutely
saying,
important.
I'm not anti it,
Yeah.
but I don't believe it though. Like, I don't believe that angle. And if you're gonna go and count fucks per minute, like, come on, dude.
Well, I mean,
Come on.
I think it's interesting because as it's been brought up by I think Rugby League Guru, the FPMs in Fox League's fantastic documentary that we all loved because it was a great insight.
Yeah.
I think it was about 100 per minute.
130 in an
per
hour.
130 per hour.
Which is a higher
FPM.
a higher FPM than Brandon locked in 55 minutes. It was also greenlit by Fox because it was a Fox League production, approved by the NRL.
Yeah.
And Dean loved it.
Well, he didn't have
He
anything to
hates
say.
this.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that, and look, respect Dean's opinion. He's every right to have his opinion. But the difference is that was put on a Fox League, which is a major stakeholder. You could argue the biggest stakeholder in rugby league. Like, if you want to watch rugby league outside of Nine, you have to go to Fox Sports. Whereas this is a podcast that you have to choose to opt in. Like, you have to go to YouTube, you have to put it in the thingo, so you've got to choose to watch it. Whereas, like, when it comes to rugby league content, and if you don't go on the internet, Fox Sports is really the only place you can watch rugby league content. So you could argue that's the FPMs per hour, sorry, the FPHs.
No, it's CPH.
CPH.
FPMs.
Apologies.
Look, we're all getting our head around it.
Is more uncouth on the Fox League thing. But again, I'm not making that argument. I thought it was actually really good to see Michael Maguire passionate and who he was, who the Tigers were. I thought it was a great documentary.
It just points to the fact that it's like you've either got your head in the sand about the way the world is, the way people are, or the way that, like, you know, the way that media is heading. It's not saying that it's like, oh, mainstream media is dead, but like, podcasts are there. They're not going anywhere. And it's a place where people clearly enjoy seeing people let their guard down a little bit. There's obviously mistakes that Brandon made here, but to be picking out the swear words, like, there are things in this interview that you can reasonably say Brandon shouldn't have done.
Absolutely.
But the swear word angle is like, you know what? And like, say whatever you want about any of the fucking rugby league journos. I didn't see this bullshit from anyone else. You had, like, Buzz had his opinion, and the opinions were about reasonable things. Well, fucking Hoops had his opinion. But to come and just pick out F words is like, is that your take on this?
Yeah, it's strange, to be honest. I understand that, you know, players are representing clubs and you know, you could argue maybe just tone the F-bombs down if you want to. But if this, you're right, like, if this is your issue, I personally don't think there is an issue. You're kind of looking for things to be upset about. There is far more concerning things in that interview outside of the language, especially when there is already precedent. The Fox Sports greenlit an F-bomb laden documentary that we all love, that was all ordered. The only issue is this is not on, you know, this is not mainstream, so apparently it's, you know, bad or whatever. So I understand people that are like, you know, it's great to, to be very clear, we all in agreement. There's certain things that Cheese probably just should have just kept out of the interview. So it's not us defending the Cheese, some of those things, you know. So please don't confuse us going, oh, you just letting him say whatever he wants. Absolutely not. But I think if you're going to look for the F-bombs, I think it's a bit much.
If this is the line of concern you have with the interview, it's a waste of everyone's time, and it's not the point.
Yeah.
Have a point, by all means. Have your opinion, by all means, but this is crazy.
Yeah, and I also think he, in my opinion, people aren't celebrating the F-bombs and the C words.
Of course they're not.
They're celebrating the real insight they've never really seen before.
Also, let's not pretend like people don't speak like that.
Yeah.
So, in your entire
particularly in our
article,
generations, maybe like older generations, swearing's a little more frowned upon, but like in our generation, everyone swears
And no one
all the
cares.
time. I didn't even notice.
I didn't notice.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Didn't notice once.
But don't you think that's sort of like, again, like it's sort of...
But he's like, oh, the online trolls are celebrating it, trying to lump people that support Brandon
I know.
Smith in with the camp troll.
Yeah, so
That's
you're
like
a
they're the
troll.
same thing. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
We all know he's got his opinions on trolls.
Honestly,
Look, I'm up.
I guarantee you, most people, if you said, probably shouldn't have said the premiership thing in the Roosters, probably should have spoken to Storm, 90% of trolls would be like, you know what, you're probably right. Like, I agree with that. I haven't met anyone that is like, nah, everything he said, totally sweet, who cares, don't worry about it. Most reasonable people are like, yeah, I think there are certain things, but outside, most of the interview, like 90% or 80% of the interview was great, good insight. So they're very different. Like, online trolls, yeah, you're right, like lumping that all in together, it's like, it's not...
If you disagree with me, you're clearly an online troll.
Yeah, it's...
The trolls claimed Smith was at liberty to express himself. So you're saying he's not?
Yeah, it's...
What are you saying?
Expressive stuff that way because...
And at the end of the day, if Dean Ritchie got the exclusive and the interview was the same, he would have been fucking
Exactly.
loving it.
Do we think that he would have
Scoop
for a
of the
second?
year. He would have been
yeah.
walking through the office with his hog out going, have a go at me.
Look at this. Do you reckon he would have
Look
been
how
like,
great I am.
Brandon, I think maybe we should cut out the swear words
Bullshit.
or the thing about
He would
the
have lent
Roosters.
into it. He
Of
would have
course
been
he
like,
would have.
say more,
yeah,
say more.
Yeah. Oi, say cunt again. You see, you cunts per hour are down.
Yeah, just a tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, the producers just informed me, mate. Your CPH is a little low.
Yeah,
We
so-
were looking for 5 to 6.
Yeah. You know what? Put it this way. If the doco came out and Dean Ritchie was like, had this article about the doco, and then he had this article about Brandon, I would be like, oh, fair enough. He just doesn't like swearing, and that's his opinion. But it does seem a bit targeted because it isn't the traditional way to things have been done. Anyway, I think this will blow over in a few days, and no one will. You know, I fully sympathise with the Storm fans. I think every fan can sympathise with the Storm fans if their player had basically announced they were leaving and saying they wanted to win a premiership while they still had a year to go. I don't think anyone's begrudging Smith going out in the market. No one's begrudging me that. I think it's just could have been handled a bit sharper. I think you cut out 20% of that interview. It's a great interview. Yeah. Great interview, and no one can really be that upset.
And he's wearing a great hat,
which protected his life.
He looked
really good.
If anything, he's come out of this probably with a couple of impending modelling gigs.
Yeah, well, I was going to say also maybe just some more Hello Sport merch on the way.
Well, of course.
We'll find his address.
He may well now be our brand yeah. Well, I know he's sort of signed with YKTR,
but we'll just give him some shit for free.
Because he looked good in that punters and dribblers hat.
He did look good.
I won't deny he looked good. He looked good in the hat.
See, Dean should have been talking about that.
That's something you can talk about.
Look, he did swear, but how about the hat he was wearing? Is anyone talking about that? Well, actually, the online trolls are, Dean. They were saying it's good. Good hat.
The online trolls.
The trolls loved it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like trolls actually used to mean like you're on the internet and you say things you don't mean to get a rise out of people. But now it's just like everyone's a troll. Like anyone that doesn't agree with you, troll.
That's also, exactly. It's also anyone who doesn't agree with you is a troll, and anyone who maybe has a point that differs is like, it's like the woke brigade.
Yeah.
So you're either just woke or you're a troll. It's like, okay, I mean,
there's a different opinion.
I love how he sort of frames it as well, that if you voted on the Daily Telegraph rigged poll, then you're a great person.
Yeah.
What did he say?
The 70%.
The more considered fans. I just imagine this like pompous old bloke sitting there going, yes, I am rather considered.
Yes.
I might vote on that poll.
But also like...
I won't get into the Twitter haters hissy fit.
It's like that poll, most of the people don't like he's a player for an opposition team. So most people are like, yeah, fuck him. He's, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like even if he didn't do anything wrong. If you just put a poll up, should Kalen Ponga be fined? People are like 70%. Yes. Because
should we find Kalen Ponga?
Because he's not a part of my team. Yeah. Yes, he should be fined. So very strange. Very strange.
Leave comments in the YouTube. Should Kalen Ponga be fined?
Let us know in the comments section. Should Kalen Ponga be fined?
Why? Well, just because.
Just because.
Should he be fined? We're just asking the question.
We just want to know.
Jeez, be bloody what's the word?
Considered.
Be considered, you grubs.
You trolls.
Yeah, you're a bunch of trolls. So again, to be really clear, we're not saying that there weren't things wrong with the interview. I personally, if I was advising the great Cheese, Sir Cheese, or one of my favourite players in the comp, I would have said, let's put a hold on this podcast, get the business done. You know, my advice to anyone, like I've been fortunate enough to be a part of substantial negotiations. When it comes to business, keep it locked down and tight so everyone feels respected, everyone feels appreciated. Until the deal's done, let everything settle. Then you can release a podcast. The insight would have been just as good if we had heard it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks' time, or even 6 months' time. It would have been just as cool, in my opinion. So, but the good thing is, Cheese has come out. He's apologised. We all move forward. What I do know, he's going to rip and tear.
Fucking oath he will.
He's going to rip and tear. Interesting times for the Storm, though. So Storm have confirmed he's on the move at the end of 2022. Basically, I mean, I'd be surprised if he doesn't go to the Roosters now. Could you imagine if he's like, joking, going to Dolphins?
That would be wild.
That would be all time.
Because that was it as well. Watching that was like, well, he's saying he's made up his mind, but he's not saying where it is. But I'm like, if it's not the Roosters based on what he's saying, then this is.
He's also telling us how he wants Robbo wants him to play.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay.
That'd be in the grand final all-time Woolpools.
That I think it would win.
Psych, going to the Dolphins. I'd be like, whoa.
It would be all-time Woolpool.
Yeah.
Also, it'd be almost genius level Woolpool.
And I think actually, because everyone hates the Roosters, he'd be forgiven very quick if he pulled a Woolpool on him.
Also, I think he'd be an absolute shoo-in for Woolpool of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
At the prestigious Woolpool Awards.
The Beaks. The Golden Beaks. I think we probably need it. I don't know if we had a Woolpool this year.
I don't think we did have a Woolpool.
It's going in. It's going in.
And they wear a giant fleece. Merino wool.
Now, it looks like it's the Roosters. Thoughts on the Cheese at the Roosters?
Hectic.
Wow. Holy shit.
I've had a feeling deep in my plums for a while that he's going to go to the Roosters because I'm just like, he's a good fit. He'll do very well there. They're going to go to another level. It just cements them as a great club,
Imagine
which is
him and
annoying
Watson.
because I love to hate the Roosters, but fuck, they've got some good players.
Oh my God.
They've just got such good players.
Him and Connor Watson coming at you.
Oh, bro.
For 80 minutes.
They'll fucking feed. They'll feed blokes.
Him and Victor.
Oh, shooting out of the
Victor the
defensive line.
Inflictor.
Yeah.
Oh my
Imagine
God.
both of them lining you up.
There's like 3 serious inflictors right there.
Wow.
Angus Crichton.
Ooh.
Satilli.
5.
Oh my God. Hargreaves.
Hargrave, 6.
Lindsay Collins, Origin player.
Do we also take a moment to discuss, whilst we're on the Roosters, where Crichton has cut his hair?
Yeah, big news. Big news. Does it play?
I think it plays.
Plays.
I think it's
I
out
think
of the Tom Birmingham playbook, though, if I can be honest. I shaved my head
Is it you?
a couple of weeks later.
You do
he
have a
shaved his
tendency
head.
to feel like
Insert
events,
myself,
well,
yeah.
events in the world that have nothing to do with you actually have everything to do with you.
There's certainly an argument to be made that he has shaved his head because of me.
No one inserts himself into a story about the Tom. Nobody.
I'm just saying there is a chance. It's something to look at, something to consider.
Chance?
Chance, France.
Say chance. Just say it. Because chance is starting to piss everyone off.
You're going to get cancelled, bro.
I know.
I'm just letting
You're
you
going
know.
to get cancelled. Yeah. That'll be
You
it.
keep doing that.
That's
you can
gonna be
do a
tough.
lot of things, but chants and dances, that's cancelable offences.
I would say this of Angus Crichton. I think he's got his timing great. I don't think you can go another season of long hair. It was wearing a little. It's like, okay.
It's almost like
I like to
2021
see-
Crichton was long
Yeah.
hair. 2022 Crichton shaved head, down to business, ready to just.
I
take
like
souls.
how...
Like, you're still wearing skinny jeans, bro?
Nah.
Take them off.
yeah, take the skinny jeans
Flare
off.
jeans are done.
Take 'em
Don't
off.
wear the flares. But I do like the fact that he's gone from luscious, long, very soft and elegant to aggressive, criminal shave of the head.
Yeah.
Do you know
Tough.
why I think he did?
Why?
Because I think it's business time.
You reckon it's business, year of the business?
Yeah.
I think it's business time.
When you shave your head, it's about business.
I
all
think
about
after
business.
a tough year last year, obviously injury riddled, it was an uphill battle all year. I think when you finish a year like that, you just look around, you go, fuck, feels to me like 2022 might be about business.
Do you think that when he
About
got it
getting
done,
done.
do you think when he got it done, he messaged his mates and said, "New hair, don't care"?
Or he inboxed their WhatsApp group, the players' WhatsApp group, and said business time. Time to get down to business.
yeah, yeah.
Always put your suits on. We're going to business.
Suits on. Time to do some bass.
Yeah, get your basses done. Make sure your bass is all done. You don't want to be going to a new year of footy without your bass.
Without
fucking
your
sorted.
bass.
Get your bass
Just
done.
squared away.
Square your bass away. Get it squared. If you haven't done Q1, 2 and 3 by the time you walk onto that footy field,
It's going to be a bad year.
Yeah, it's
Fair
trouble. Panic stations.
I've never seen a footy team win a comp without doing their bass.
No.
and some do it better than others.
Oh, yeah, Tom.
That we do know.
Look, Roosters are good at doing their bass.
They're very good.
Haven't missed one. Haven't missed a deadline. True
Squeaky
story.
clean bass.
Haven't missed a deadline. That's why no one looks under the hood.
No.
Because the bass
Have they missed a bass? No. Well, we're not looking.
No, it's all good.
That's the key, you reckon, to getting a good squad together is making sure you don't ever be late on a bass.
Mate, the auditors, they're pretty simple.
You don't want to get
people.
behind on your bass.
That's it.
If you want
the
to win
Melbourne
comps.
Storm, that's what did the Melbourne Storm in all those years ago. They were super late on their basses, and they were like, "What the
And the
fuck?"
government was
going
like,
on
"Oi, bruh, can you put your bass in already?"
Yeah, and then the NRL's like, listen, dude, just do your bass and we won't come looking. Now we got to look. Now it's a fucking
And they
problem.
always like, "Oh, couldn't we bothered? Like, it's so complicated."
So much paperwork, man.
And like, yeah, we got some. I can't find the receipts for all the stuff I bought.
Yeah. Who keeps receipts?
Yeah. So you reckon it was the Storm? Just their players weren't keeping receipts of like petty money and that, and then they were wigging out like, "Oh, we can't put our bass in because the boys forgot their receipts."
Yeah, I didn't get a receipt for the boat.
Do you reckon you get receipts when you buy a boat?
Yeah, I reckon. If you ask,
You know,
one.
to be honest, I think that they didn't even breach the cap. They just couldn't find their receipts.
do you
couldn't
ask
find the
for
receipts.
do you ask for receipts
When I buy boats?
when you buy anything? You're always offered a receipt.
Yeah, I don't take them.
I'm of the mind. It actually pisses me off when they offer it. I'd rather I've got to ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like,
It pisses you off.
well, it doesn't piss off. That's an aggressive word. But I'm like, bro, if I wanted one, I'd ask for one.
What do old people do with all their receipts?
Yeah. Where do all the receipts go?
Where do they go?
Well, I
what
think
do they do with them?
eventually they collapse suffocate under like a mountain of receipts.
Because people sometimes, like when you're in a line, they're like, and sometimes they won't get offered a receipt, which I think is like the new age. And they'll go, "Where's my receipt?" I'm like, "You bought like a $3.50 coffee, bro. Do
Yeah,
you
I'm not-
need a
I'm not
receipt?
that.
No. Do you get a receipt for shit that like might break and you need to get?
Do
it
you need a
replaced?
receipt?"
Look, it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation. I think.
Look, Are we off topic? No. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Look,
We're just,
can
we're
we
wading
make
into the
accounting
muck.
sexy? We can do that.
Oh, yeah, we
We can do that, but we're not going to do it today.
No, not today.
Not
The
today.
dirty merger accountants.
Not
But
today.
look, if there's any advice you get out of today, it's should Kalen Ponga be fined?
And do your best on time.
Do your bus on time and keep your receipts.
Yeah.
Also, Joey Manu re-signed.
That's what I want to speak about you next. Did he come down to Div 3 and you gave him a bit of nut? That's why you resigned.
Look, we've been doing some private sessions, some one-on-one stuff. Joey reached out a couple of weeks ago
He
and
reached
said,
out. You didn't reach out to him?
You wanted to keep
we
it
don't
all
reach
quiet.
out. We're like, I don't know.
Behind
I don't
closed
toot my
doors.
own horn like Tom.
Okay.
But Joey called me up and he said, listen, mate, I'm heard you're in Div 1 again this year. Obviously, you've been fucking ripping and tearing. I said, yeah, I have. I haven't missed many tags. I missed a couple, but not many.
No crucial ones, though.
No crucial
You
ones.
can't be perfect.
I've gone through the line a couple of times. I've given some pretty nice nut. Come down, I'll show you what it's all about. And he said, listen, I want to be a rover like Tom Trbojevic. And I said, there's only one way that's happening. Get on my back, and I'll fucking show you
Show you
how
how
it's
to rove.
done. Show you how to rove, mate. You want to play centre? Come with me. Want to play fullback? Come with me. Want to play centre? Come with me. Want to play front row? Come with me. I'll show you how it's done. And I tell you what, Denon, he's come a long way.
So he's
in
in
the
for a
last
big
couple of
year.
weeks. Huge year. Huge year.
So did you get a call from Politis at all saying, look, we're trying to keep our boy. Can you just take him under your wing? We're trying to re-sign him. Warriors offer him $1 squillion.
Well, no, Joey reached out, but Politis has been sending around some nice gifts.
No, a boat at all?
Huh?
A boat with a receipt?
Can't say.
Can't say.
Roosters notoriously a private club.
Notoriously.
They're
I mean,
private people.
Usually.
Yeah.
Look, I will say this, though. It'll be a nice day on the water when the sun's shining again.
Can we have Can we have a cheese moment? Can you delve deep into the negotiations with Nick Politis, please?
No, I won't.
Won't do it.
No. I won't be joining into that world. All I'll say is it'll be a nice day for all of us on the water when the sun's shining. That's all I'll say.
Nothing to do with a boat there. Just read it.
No, I'm just saying we'll paddle out.
Yeah.
The
Gonna
three
paddle?
of us.
Okay.
You, Joey, Nick.
Yeah.
Or us as well. We invited.
Yeah, you're
us three.
invited.
Oh, I'm invited. Oh,
we could
that's
probably
sweet.
have, I don't know, 300 or 400 at a pinch out there. Floating around,
Great day on the water.
ripping and tearing.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now,
That's what happens when you're good at what you do.
look, it's similarities with cheese. Like, he's the best in the business, gets away with a little bit. You're the best in the business, you're getting away with a little bit.
Get away with plenty.
Yeah.
Now, what does this mean for Sam Verrills? Could the Eels go after him? You know, also in amongst this, I mean, when we talk about hookers being hot property, fuck, hookers they've never been this hot.
No.
Never been this hot. Panthers have come out and strongly denied Cheese's claim that they were interested in him. So where do you reckon this leaves the hooker market? You've got Sam Verrills, obviously the Roosters sitting there going, oh, okay, sweet. I guess
What am I doing?
won a premiership, but all right, I'll see you later, I guess.
But then do you reckon because of the way that how hot the hooker market is right now, Sam Verrills goes, okay, well, look, maybe I am on the out at the Roosters, but you've got the Dolphins sitting on arse loads of cash. Parramatta shit in the bed left, right and centre. They now have room for a hooker that maybe it works out in his favour. Obviously, you don't necessarily want to leave the club. You love the Roosters, but like...
Man, honestly, leaving the Roosters, I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
Yeah. You know, you're staying for Prems,
Yes.
and he's already won a Prem.
So then maybe arse loads of cash.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know. I mean, I'd assume Parramatta are having a go at him. He's good, he's young, he's a really good hooker. He's struggled with injury a little bit, but they've been unlucky injuries, not like, you know, because he doesn't take
He's
care
not
of himself.
breaking down all the time.
Yeah, but very interesting times for hookers because Api Coruscant hasn't re-signed yet either. So very interesting time. Now, there are now 8 players who have signed with the club for 2023. Andrew Abdo says the NRL will be speaking to the RLPA over coming months with a view of making changes to the current system. I think that players signing so far out is not good. I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it difficult though, right? How far out can you sign? Like, it's like a year or something, right? So, like,
Well,
if you had
it's-
the Cheese, say, right? Like, say he
Well,
announced it.
it's nearly a year and a half from when you play. Like,
Yeah.
you can sign November 1st and then not play till a year
later,
and
yeah.
a little bit to the March fucking 14th or whatever.
But then, like, if you do it at the end of a season before the next season, I feel like that's a little tougher on players.
Well, I think that, like,
You
what
got
would
to up and move all your shit.
Yeah,
potentially,
I totally agree. But what I think is that's why you need a trade window So everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if there's a trade window,
But would you have that mid-season? Is that kind
probably.
of...
But even end of season, you got 8 weeks to move, and you know
Yeah.
it's coming. Like you know, the trade. Let's say the trade window was immediately when the season ended. You know it's coming. You know there'd be whispers. You know, like clubs would have reached out, and you would kind of know where you're probably going to go.
Do you know you're up for being traded at the end of a season? Is that sort of how that would work? Like,
I'd
or is it
assume.
like you could have the rug pulled out from under you and the club go, well, actually, we're going to trade?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it would work. They need to do something. They need to structure it. I think they're missing out on a lot of content.
There's
Well,
certainly that.
yeah, they are. Like, but you say that it's not enough time, and like it, based on what they get now, yeah, it isn't enough time. But in soccer over in Europe, they get traded in the summer, which is like fucking 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Go to new countries. Then there's like a January window, which is another 4 weeks. But it's pretty tight. Whereas, you know, you could get cracking October, second week of October, all the way through to December. That's 3 months.
It's quite a yeah. I
That's
reckon
a
it's
fair
enough time.
amount of time. Then
Yeah,
plus January, that's 4 months.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
I
it's a
think
fair
there's
time.
enough time
Yeah.
to do it.
Yes.
For sure.
Look, and if it's just the nature of the job you do and you get remunerated well, then it's kind of just like...
And
whatever,
also,
deal
you
with
can
it.
have, I reckon you would be allowed to have, you know, your manager going for coffees in the background, getting a feeling for things.
Oh, coffees would be happening. You
Yeah.
can't put a ban on coffees.
Caffeine...
Would this
power the trade
would this
window.
only be, do you think, for free agents? Or do
Yeah.
you think the clubs would start trading players?
I
You've
think-
got a year left, fuck off.
I
you
think it'd
pay
be
out a year.
inevitable. I think that would be inevitable. Like,
Yeah.
as in clubs would just start pushing for it, trying to move players off their books, balancing the cap. You know, there's a million clubs out there right now with players that are on a lot of money that they probably want to develop, put into development or sign a younger guy. I think it would, the whole trading, whether it's come to trading players on contract or just free agents, I think you'd just put the whole lot in there.
How long does this sort of thing take, though? Is it...
To do the whole thing or to set up? What do you
No,
mean? Like-
for like how much back and forth is there in negotiations, particularly with like your prize bulls?
I don't think
Is
there's
it-
that much. I really don't think there's that much.
You know?
You know, a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. But if you want to get a deal done, you get it done. Like, it's what else is a player manager doing? He's not that busy. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah, so for 3 or 4 months is more than enough time.
oh, it's
The content would be sick. I'd love
the content that they create, the chaos,
chaotic
the
trade.
trade.
So it would be like, you know, October 5th or 6th or whatever every year, bang, we're on.
Yeah, I reckon.
And it goes till mid-January or something.
Or I'd go even less. I'd go, it goes till,
31st.
December or something. December the 1st or something like that. And you just, everyone's prepared for it. Everyone knows it's about to happen.
December 5th, 2 months, bang.
Yeah, December 5th, 2 months, bang, get it done, get the trades in. Pre-season start, like you've got plenty of time to train pre-season. Then like if there's a month where you've got no club, you just train by yourself. You get your body ready, get into December 1st. Because like I already think the pre-seasons are too long. Like fuck me. Some of them start
In November.
November 1st.
Yeah.
Like that's so long, man. I remember back in the days, you'd used to like peak before Christmas and then you start dropping off.
That's 4 months.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
a lot of
getting
time.
flogged.
That
for
is
4
a
months.
long time.
Like boxing camps are 12 weeks, man. And that's a camp for a boxing match. So I think there needs to be something. I think they're leaving a lot of money on the table by not having a trade window, and also it just 8 players signed a year out. Like it's weird.
It seems like with the cheese thing, it almost might be the catalyst for it.
It might be.
Because
Yeah.
it's like it or not, whatever the interview and shit. Like it certainly has. There's always a spotlight on it, but the way that this thing's played out is almost like if the NRL do nothing, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's also unique, I think, just off the top of the dome in world sport,
To what? Not have it.
to be like, I'm going to this club in fucking 18 months' time.
Yeah, right.
That does not happen anywhere else. It's like, I'm getting traded and you go the next day.
Dude, there are guys like in the NBA who are literally like suiting up and they walk out in the court and then someone's
You've
like,
been traded.
You've been traded, buddy.
Yeah.
Back in the sheds and piss off.
Like we are quite amateur in that way. Well, the NRL is compared to the rest of the world. It's different, and I think the biggest point from the NRL's perspective is dollars. and sense.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they've been able to lean on the scandal during the off season for decades now.
Yeah.
But
Imagine having both.
imagine having both.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be basically better than the season. Pretty much better than footy.
Yeah.
Mate, the paper from the front page to the back page would be about the game of rugby league if you're playing scandals into trades.
Imagine the
Scandalous trade.
mayo. Yeah, scandalous trade.
Scandalous trade.
Imagine the mayo on trading that would happen. He said this, she said this,
This
the
is what
trade
I'm
happened
hearing.
here.
Whispers.
Oh, trade whispers. It would just be Mayo Central.
Oh, yeah. it
And the
would be.
journos would be licking their lips because they don't have to make up shit in the off season now.
Yeah.
They can just.
Or
you know.
they can make shit up and report.
Yeah, well, they could do both. Again, it's good for
My only
everyone.
concern is for the North Sydney Bears because they only really get coverage in the off season, and if we have scandal and trades, where do they get
Well,
coverage?
I think that we can all agree, Tom, that it's time to say goodbye.
So the trade.
Don't you think it's time to say goodbye?
introduction
It's like
of the
this
trade window.
thing's been on life support for too long, and I think it's time to turn off the power.
So it'll be officially they'll be like.
If you bring a trade window in, it's goodbye, it's good night, it's sayonara to the North Sydney Bears,
Give 'em-
and it's about time.
Give them one last back page spread, though.
Yeah, and just go.
it's a farewell.
Yeah.
Thanks for the memories.
Thanks for the memories.
Thanks for the
Enjoy
off-season.
the New South Wales Cup. Fuck off.
Yeah, not coming back, never to return.
That's a night. Go out on your own terms,
I don't know how
which
far.
is that you're shit.
But you're not coming back. Not really your
Look,
terms.
I don't know. I don't agree with the fuck off bit, but I do like the thank you. I do like the sentiment of thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the off seasons. Thanks for 18th club, 17th club,
Yeah.
20th club, 25th club.
I'd assume that there'll be like, from a journalistic perspective, they might even just, as an honour to them and the work that the North Sydney Bears have done in the off season, is just the whole back page of the paper is just blacked out as like a.
As a homage or whatever.
Yeah,
to-
exactly. And
yeah.
maybe just the Bear logo in the middle, but it's everything else is just completely.
Or like
just
it's
black.
kind of like Bears entering the comp and then small writing, never.
Never. Yeah, Bears return to rugby league. Never.
Well, I think that's a nice touch.
I think that's tasteful.
Again, they're in the New South Wales Cup. It's not like they're not anywhere.
You're still around.
You know.
Well, they had the great Cam Murray play for them only recently. They
you
still
go.
have some great players playing for them.
Yeah.
Well, they're the feeder side for the Roosters. Or they're Rabbitohs now.
Yeah.
They're back
Was
to
it Roosters now?
Back to Roosters.
They
Back to
flip and
Roosters.
flop. Back to Roosters.
There you
So
go.
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good place to be.
There you go.
I can't believe they flopped between Roosters and Rabbitohs. That's interesting.
I don't know what's. I think they're. Look, at this point, they're just trying everything.
Does that? Well, I mean, and probably another reason to
Yeah.
pull the plug
We're
out.
in North Sydney. We're in Dubbo. We're the Roosters. We're South. We're fucking.
Because you imagine
West
Western Australia.
It's the tough
Central Coast, which was up until recently another.
They were Melbourne at a point too. Billy Slater played for North Sydney.
There you go. There you go.
What's
So did Maloney.
What sucks for them, and like all jokes aside, what sucks for them is like they are a very proud history club, like massive, but there's just too many teams in Sydney already. Like you could not, for the life of you, bring in another Sydney side.
It'd be ridiculous.
You just couldn't. Like if anyone ever said, "Oh, we're going to bring in another Sydney side," you would be like, "Are you kidding me?" If anything, we could reduce it. I mean, I don't want to do that,
won't.
but
No. They won't.
they'll never reduce it. But what I'm
won't.
saying is,
There's no room for another one.
the choice between you'd be more likely to reduce than add
Yeah,
one.
it's more. Yeah, exactly right. Not that they will,
Yeah.
because they said that they don't want to cede any more territory.
I also think they've got one of the best jerseys of all time and their logo. So for that, we thank you.
There is something special about their jersey.
Yeah.
it is iconic. It almost like, to me, it's almost as good as the Rabbitohs. Kind of, there's something about those.
There's
colours.
something about it, like, honestly, because in America, I feel like, I mean, maybe I've said this before, I feel like there's a little bit more of a culture of like just rocking jerseys and hats from LA or New York or whatever. Like, they just like wearing it. The Bears jersey, I won't do this because it's Australian culture, but that's probably the closest jersey I'd wear to like a jersey I'd wear just because I think
Yeah.
it looks cool.
Yeah, that's true. And there's something like
They're also not in the NRL, so to bring that up. so I can
vintage
probably
about it as well, like vintage and cool about
Yes,
it, nostalgic.
exactly. The 90s sort of cotton Bears jersey.
I love Manly's jersey this year. They've gone like retro.
Yeah,
kinda
it's
look.
sick.
Looks
Yeah.
sick.
It's mad.
I saw a couple of people bagging, and I was like, I reckon it's
No, it's sick.
like it's probably. I put the post up. It's probably my outside of the Broncos, my favorite jersey this year.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I'd go along with it.
Well, I'd say it's
I'd
my
say it's the
favourite.
best.
Yeah, it's the best. They got us to model it, which was nice. We didn't expect to get
Let's
us
rate
to
the
come
jerseys
down.
so far that we've seen. And Matty will put the picture up. We've got Manly, Cowboys, Broncos, Titans, Raiders, Panthers, Knights, and Sharks. You have a quick squiz and you rate it. I would go, obviously Broncos has a special place in my heart. Then I would go Manly, Raiders is probably my least like this year. I
don't like the Raiders.
I want them to go old school. Go the lime green.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it
Go
just
old
seems
school.
simple, right? I would go Manly, Panthers, Sharks, Broncos, Knights, Cows, Titans.
And speaking of
Raiders last.
jerseys, real quick, guys, the shirts you were seeing worn.
Oh, yes.
Can you stand up and turn around, fellas?
Eddie, merch promotion, dude. Get your head on.
Merch promotion. Yeah, get your head in the game. The last dribble. It is unbelievable shirts. These will be released in, I would say, about 6 weeks.
No. Few days.
Oh, a few days.
Well, that's the plan. They'll be ready for Christmas. So in the next week or so, we'll be dropping them. Also,
Wow.
No, we'll be releasing them Sunday 6 p.m.
Sunday 6 p.m.
This
Sorry,
Sunday,
I forgot.
6
This
p.m.
Sunday 6 p.m.
Be there, Sunday 6
And the
p.m.
hat as well.
And the hat.
And the Hello Sport corduroy hat.
Summer tan hat. This one also has bird shit on it. I got pooed on because we're trying to sell, and it's good luck to be pooed on by a bird. I opted not to wash it off.
Okay.
It's one of the greatest omens of all time.
Talk about blessing the people. You got the Bloke singlets on Tuesday.
Yep.
You got the Hello Sport last dribble. Is this your first ever real merch
First
drop?
ever shirt.
Yeah, first ever
shirt.
outside of
the
obviously,
beer soon.
of
obviously.
Dirty Murder shirt.
But that was
Yeah.
a collab for
Yeah.
the ages.
Record-breaking collab.
Yeah.
Wow, that was big numbers.
Greatest club of all time.
Holy fuck, that was big numbers. The amount of fucking dribblers that got behind that.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive. So look,
Humbling.
You're being blessed by the two greatest podcast merch in the game right now.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Blessed.
I mean, a lot of the time these days, we're sitting in the top 5 together, just sitting there.
That's just where we always hang out. In top five.
It's honestly, it's like if the Rabbitohs and Roosters merged, that's where we're at right now when it comes to success.
Let's say Manly and
Manly and
don't put
Broncos.
Yeah.
During our good years.
Yeah, exactly.
During the Bitcoin years.
Yeah, 90s Broncos and Manly just generally.
Manly 2011.
8.
8-11
And
now.
Broncos 2006. Broncos 2006.
Manly 2008
Close.
and
Yeah,
Manly
cool.
2021.
And 2022.
No, not 2021 because you got bounced out.
But yeah, so this on the back, a dribbler drew this for us. Shout out to Tate Bailey. It's the last dribble, much
Yep.
like the last supper.
All the household names.
All the heavies.
Yeah.
That-
Surprised I didn't get a start,
It's not
but it's
them.
all good though.
It's not them, but
No,
it could
it's
be
not
them.
them, but it could
Who is on there? Is
Well,
you got
no
Landis?
one's on there, but it sort of looks like
Tom and I
people
are
from-
on there.
Yeah, we're on
Oh, so it's like Vita Pandies.
there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the grandson of God's on there. Maybe the greatest footballer of all time who hails from a little place called Cessnock's on
Yeah.
there.
Maybe a guy who's known for fingering bums.
Maybe he's on there. Maybe one of the greatest rugby league callers, well, the greatest rugby league caller of all time's on there.
Not him, but someone who.
But you know what I mean? You know what we mean.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All the heavies. Are
It's
there.
like, have you seen that cricket game where it was like, instead of Glenn McGrath, it was like Glon McGrath.
Yeah.
Glenn McBrath.
Yeah. A bit like that. But it was painted for us, watercolours, and we've got it in a frame, and it's fucking dope.
I love the colours too, and like on the front there, that logo.
Just an elegant and understated little chair there.
It's going to become iconic one day. I can see it. I
mean,
can see it
some might
already.
say.
Bloke with his little socks on, just
Yeah.
sitting down to some dribble and some yarn.
Dribbling yarn.
He's just dribbling his giant.
Yeah.
He is.
Probably bounced
So,
out.
Sunday, 6 p.m,
Sunday, 6 p.m.
hellosport.com.au.
Now, what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, the North Sydney Bears, Varley. Thank
that's
you.
your
Oh, jerseys. So you said yours. Have you said yours yet?
Mine's very similar. I didn't like the Raiders one at all. I don't like the Titans jersey. I'm sorry. I can't get around it. I like the Penrith jersey. Always had a fucking soft spot for it. I like
Yeah.
the rainbow,
Big
sort
colours
of the
across,
red,
yeah.
the
Yellow and,
green. Fucking good. So I'd probably go Manly, Panthers, Sharks, Newey, Broncos, Cows,
I wish that Newey would just be
Raiders,
stripes,
Titans.
just red and blue stripes. Give me the stripes.
That big NIB on the front of Newey. Whew, how they slipped that in NIB for that colour is shocking to me.
But it doesn't seem like the sponsors even have to adhere to colour codes of.
No,
the
but how the
jerseys.
Knights allowed it?
Right.
You know, when they're putting the jersey together, they go, "Oh, this big green thing on the front."
I would have said, listen, NIB, it's a pinch big.
Can you let me see it again?
It's not even the bigness; it's just
It's
the
the
colour.
greenness of it.
Yeah, because the oak on the front of the
But
Panthers
I
on the
take
front,
that off. I like it.
it's huge and green.
It's massive in green. It was like nothing to do with this colour
it's
scheme
like-
whatsoever.
See, like the
Hulk.
Sharks frame it, so it's sort of like not as
It's not just like stuck on
I think
the
it's the
front.
green, man. It's just so, just boom.
Yeah.
What
The
about that
Raiders
meme?
have got Toyota forklifts. That's their brand. That's their
I thought it was,
major
so they're
sponsor.
no longer milk.
No, milk gone.
Toyota forklifts. Where's the milk? It's going to be a tough year.
Tough year.
Sorry. It's going to be a
But
tough year.
I don't know why the Raiders don't just go back to that old school design. Their old school is sick.
If you were in, if I'm in the board meeting, right, coming up with which jersey we want, and they've got the old school one there and that new one, who's picking the new one?
No one.
Who's picking the new one?
Imagine a new, fresh, like as in the old school design or inspiration.
And that colour as well, that like limey, really
that
limey.
limey, even like the white collar with the lime, or it would look sick.
It was a vibe.
It was a fucking massive vibe. It's Meninga vibes.
I've just got Meninga
Boom.
dominating
Ricky
in my
Stewart.
head when I think
Boom.
about that.
Titans, I feel, could do it. Like, I like the colour scheme. I just think that there could be some improvement. Panthers just always seem to nail it.
Yeah.
I don't remember Panthers really ever having a bad jersey.
No.
They've got a ripper on their hands.
But that's what, like with the Titans or any team when they come in for the first time to the NRL, they should be made to have like the same jersey for like 3 or 4 years or something. Like the same
create
design.
nostalgia.
To get fans connected with something.
Yeah.
And then you can go, you've got a retro jersey that people can identify and at least you've got something to go off. Whereas I just find with those Titans ones, it just kind of looks like a fucking training shirt. Like it's just a...
That's true.
It's just
all
a
money.
nothing.
I will like that.
all money.
That points bet on the front of Manly looks sick.
Yeah.
It looks like it's meant to be there. You know.
It looks hot.
And it's like framed with that, like kind of similar-ish to the Sharks, but it's framed with those two lines. So good. So fucking good. Broncos, solid. Not their best jersey, but solid. Yeah, the NIB is quite shocking on front of that nice one. But yeah, I just... If the Raiders went old school, their jerseys would be the best in the comp to me. If they went old school with just the mad lime green, full lime, I reckon they'd look hectic.
Did you ever play in a collar, Denon? In the NRL? Or
I think so.
Were you in the post-collar era?
No, but it was like a retro collar jersey, I'm pretty sure.
Right,
I wish
but
I
not
had
week
kept
to
my
week.
jerseys, man. Far out.
What'd you do with them all?
I don't even know. Honestly, don't even know.
It's tough.
It's like when you're in it, you just like, you don't think about how important it'll be in the future. And then so, like, I think I had to buy my jersey off a dribbler that got me to sign it, like
really?
ages ago. I can't even remember how much I paid him for it, but it was like only recently we put it up on his Facebook page, like selling a signed Den and Kemp jersey, which is funny because if I didn't do Bloke in a Bar and I just was like, had played the man I played and someone said selling a signed Den and Kemp jersey, it would literally not get sold. Like people were like, fuck, a winger that had like 1 or 2 good years, what the fuck? Whereas he sold it to me, I think for more than a Tedesco jersey. So there was like a Tedesco fucking like maybe Roosters Origin jersey. And he sold it for me for a similar, like it was close to the amount.
Yeah, that's a flex though.
But I said to him, I was like, bro, that's Tedesco. Like, are you serious? And he's like, look, man, that's just how much it is. I was like,
The market
alright.
dictates.
I don't even know where the jersey is, eh? It should be somewhere.
So you bought it and you've lost it.
Well, I just wanted one jersey. I didn't have it. But it is what it
That
is.
should be hung up.
Should be.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do.
Hang it up.
Now, so we all agree trade window would be a good thing.
Yep.
Now, Tim Sheens confirms the Tigers are interested in Nick Cotric. Thoughts?
Shock, horror.
Not shocked.
I think that's I like it. Like, I wonder if Cotric can be fucked to go back to Canberra. Tigers have got money.
Well, he's from Canberra, Cotric.
Oh, is he from Canberra? Okay, well, that makes a difference. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him at the Tigers. I think it's a good signing if
The
they can
concern
get him.
I have, though, is like if he struggled at the Doggies, is he going to struggle at the Tigers?
Did he struggle at the Dogs or did the Dogs struggle at the Dogs?
He still had all of the everything he brings to a game. He still had that great tackle breaks, great ball runner. Just a few errors, he was a victim of everyone struggling in the sense that when everyone's struggling, it's just his vibe. You just can't get out of it, even though you try as hard as you can.
He was too good at Canberra to just
be another winger that they just pay a little.
Yeah,
amount.
I think he was a victim of environment a little bit.
So
I'd give him another crack.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
Fucking oath.
Guess how old he is?
He's
Crazy.
20.
Well, now that you've said
Yeah,
that,
now
I'm
you're
like,
going to... No, I gave it away.
7.
24.
22.
Wait. I'll
I'm
get
going
it
to say
up.
22.
But what's your really... Tell me what your
I
really
would have said 26.
I would have said 24.
23.
There you go.
And he only turned 23 in November.
So he's a pup.
He literally... So this year he was
He's
22.
Jesus, he's a pup.
He turned 23
Played in grand
10
final.
days ago.
Played Origin.
He's a pup.
People
he's a
forget how young he is because he's a big hot throbber and
Yeah.
you just associate that with a big older guy.
Yeah.
But he's a young hot boy.
He looks older.
Yeah, but he's a young hot boy.
Big,
'Cause he's hot.
thick.
Big hot boy.
I think that's a good signing. I like that.
Well,
if they do it.
If they get him.
Because Raiders are also after him. I remember when I first met Cotric, and I thought he was like a nippy winger. And then I saw him in real life. He was like 6'2", 100 kilos.
Yeah, I saw him getting around Bondi once, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Big boy.
But now that Nick's out of Canberra, does Nick want to go back to Canberra?
Interesting.
Now that he's seen a
Interesting.
lot.
Yeah,
Well,
I've seen the world.
Yeah, he has seen
He's
the
like,
world.
holy shit.
There's a big wide world out
There's
here.
a huge wide
There's
world.
stuff to do out here.
Yeah, I thought that.
I thought it was Questacon and that fucking dam we had.
I
Lake
thought that
Burley
was
Griffin.
it. I thought it was Lake Burley Griffin and Questacon, and that was all that people did. And he
Now
comes
I
to the city,
realise
goes,
there's
"Holy
like-
shit! There's
Yeah,
actually other cities, there's other towns, there's other continents."
There's
I've been lied
two-story
to.
buildings. He'd never seen a fucking building other than one story.
Yeah.
He was like, "Holy shit! Why is that thing
He
so
goes, "What
tall?"
are stairs?"
Yeah, yeah, dude, that's
fuck?
that's another floor.
You can
Lifts?
actually get lifts and shit too.
He got a
yeah,
lift.
yeah.
Apparently, the first time he lift, he wigged out.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
like,
he
what
did that. When the doors
fuck?
opened, he was like wigging out on the
That's
ground.
how the
They're like,
doggy
"Bruh,
signed him.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, bro, we got a lift.
We
He's
got
like,
a lift here.
It
He's
took him-
like, wait a minute, I got in on a different level, and now I'm like up here. I was like,
Apparently, they
yeah,
had to
dude.
get him his own like travelator coach because he'd never hopped on a travelator before.
you
They,
know, like
coach him
the
into it.
comedy skits where they're like not going down the escalators and like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
holy
what he was
shit,
doing
this,
when he was
this is
getting
with these fucking moving stairs. What are stairs? Firstly, get your head around stairs, then get your head around moving stairs.
Yep.
You can
No
bind
wonder
them
he
together.
struggled with the
Yeah.
fucking dogs.
Yeah, he's got.
They didn't give him enough time to adjust to the big city.
Absolutely. He's got, you know, when you get all your equilibrium's all off.
Yeah, vertigo.
Vertigo.
Yeah, vertigo going upstairs he's never been up before.
Dude, I'm
Citigo.
so high right now.
Citigo. I tell you what, a lot of players get Citigo when they get to Sydney.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yes.
Citigo, when you get to Sydney, the big smoke, a lot of lovely young ladies around, a lot of ways to get caught down dark alleyways when you shouldn't be.
A lot of high-rise buildings.
A lot of high-rise buildings. Citigo can absolutely annihilate a young man that isn't ready.
That's
Yeah.
right. Especially a young man from the,
The one-story capital of the
that's
country.
right, the wasteland that is Canberra.
And he's a
The
young hot
ACT.
boy. Add in hot boy.
Yeah.
It's a tough go. Thoughts on Sir Cheezel in Sydney? Will he get Citigo?
Look, it seems like the Roosters are pretty good at keeping. Well,
Well, he's
with,
not gonna
with
get-
Trent Robinson, they've been good at keeping their boys like pretty well behaved.
Hmm.
Pre-Robbo, Citigo, that'll get the best.
Well,
of
he
it.
knows his way around a city. Melbourne's a city, obviously. There's a lot more temptations in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. I'd say that.
Well, no one knows the
There's
rugby
temptations
league.
everywhere. So you're gonna have to have his wits about him.
Yeah.
Do
Maybe
you think
even a
he
minder.
needs? Does he think he needs a minder at least first 6 months?
I think more clubs should have minders.
They kind of do actually.
Yeah.
Like when they go out, they take security guards with them to like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
like to
That's
be
good
like.
to
Go.
know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was obviously I came up with that off the dome.
Yeah.
It already happens. That doesn't surprise me.
So you think professional Citigo attendant is needed
Yes.
for the cheese?
100%.
What do you
All
think?
my
is-
big throbbers, I'd have them fucking secchied up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
follow this bloke, make sure he knows how to get on the elevator, make sure he knows what to buy
the
and what not to
cheese
buy.
going through like Westfield Shopping Centre with a bunch of security.
Yeah, like
guard
when you
around him.
see Mayweather and like all of his security like 7 foot.
They're just Citigo guys, you reckon?
Yeah.
Because you don't want in Vegas. That's the biggest Citigo there is.
You got to have it, dude. It'll get you.
Fucking Citigo.
Instead of what's he got on his shirt?
The money team.
TME.
TMT.
Oh, TMT. You've just got big blocks of cheese.
There you
They're
go.
walking him around. Oh shit, there's cheese.
Holy shit, there's cheese.
With these
His
Citigo
entourage.
guys.
Looks like he's got Citigo.
Yeah.
He's drunk as fuck. He's doing stupid shit. He's got Citigo.
He's got Citigo.
He's just got a mild case of Citigo. Sometimes you can bounce in and out of Citigo.
Fucking oath you can.
You can pick and choose.
Yeah.
Just like Vertigo comes in and out. As far as I'm aware.
Yep.
Never had it.
So look, if they can sign him, I think he'll. I think the concern is if they struggle at the Doggies, he may struggle at the Tigers. But in saying that, maybe it was just an off year for Cotric, just an off year, and he goes to Tigers and Killers. What we do know is that the Tigers they've got a few good signings now, and it seems like Tim Sheens he's a moving and shaking. He's getting his beak wet in the market. So still only 23 years old. Plenty of footy in front of him and some good footy. Would be a really good signing if the Tigers can get him. Brisbane have loaned Jesse Arthars to the Warriors 2022. He will return back to Brisbane in 2023. I think that's a good pickup for both parties because Jesse Arthars gets to play NRL, I think. But also Brisbane get to keep him on his book because he is a good player. Thoughts? You guys probably wouldn't have seen much of Jesse Arthars.
No, the name does. I know the name. I know what he looks like, but don't know exactly how Jesse plays the game of rugby league.
No No experience with Jesse, unfortunately.
But I mean,
I'd love to comment.
No,
I'd
look,
love to.
But Eddie, you and I don't comment on things unless we know about it.
Yeah, you hasn't stopped you in the past.
Well, I don't know about that. I
Well,
think we
look,
usually like
I'm
to
a
be
pretty fucking straight shooter, Darren.
Yeah. I like
I
to be
don't shoot
informed.
from the hip, mate. I shoot straight
You
between
shoot down the
eyes.
sides.
Yeah. I'm honest, and I'm true, and I'm trustworthy.
And when we don't know something, we
I just
will
put my
never
hands up.
talk
I go, I
on
know
it.
the fuck Jesse Arthars is. Sorry, I don't. Good luck to him, though.
With the greatest respect.
Of course, with the
obviously.
greatest respect, Tom. It's always with the greatest respect.
He's a good player, good footy player, good sort too. Bit of snap.
Well,
Hot boy.
I'll run an eye over him later.
Corey Parker says Brisbane have to pick and stick with a halves partner for Reynolds, given that they've had 16 halves pairings since 2019. He has suggested the one and only Albert Kelly. Do you agree with Corey Parker that they've just got to pick someone and stick with them?
Yeah, I think they 100% need to pick and stick. 16 halves pairings since 2019 is fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when Shane Warne
That's
retired.
exactly what I was about to say.
And we were looking for a spinner, and we went through them like a knife through butter.
Yeah.
And
There
then
was
we
a
found Gary
scrap
Lyon,
heap
and
of
we're like,
halves.
oh, thank God. And that's when our fortunes turned around.
Yep.
When we settled on someone fucking half decent. Now that you got Reynolds there, who throbs unbelievably, find him someone that he gels with, someone that he vibes with. Let him make the decision, and then off on your merry way.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Albert Kelly, yeah, I like Albert Kelly, but also I didn't mind the oomph that old Ticey Gamble brought.
Oh, he brought some more for right.
He played with them.
He played with oomph. He brought oomph. I don't know. What do you think, Denon?
Look, I think that they're right that they need to pick and stick. Albert Kelly, if you get a few errors out of his game, fucking got a lot of attacking flair. And the concern, if you went Tyson Gamble and Reynolds, do they have enough attacking flair? Like Tyson Gamble, very up and down, solid
Oomph-based.
player. He's all oomph based. In saying that, there's certain things that Tyson brings that Albert doesn't. You know what I mean? So it's all about flavour. What flavour are they going for? Do they want an aggressive six that brings a lot of oomph, or do they want an attacking Albert Kelly that can break games open? So I don't know who you would pick because I haven't really seen them train that much. Haven't seen them for prolonged periods in first grade. I thought Tyson Gamble was really coming into his own towards the end of the year. But I do agree with the notion that pick and stick, at least for the first 12 rounds or 10 rounds. If it doesn't work, that's when you bring someone else in. I actually wouldn't even mind, giving Tyson Gamble the 14 role because he brings on the oomph, brings on energy.
An injection of oomph.
An injection of oomph. Can't hurt. Junior Tupou, signed with the Tigers. He played with the Brumbies and was selected in the Junior Wallabies. I'm not familiar with Junior Tupou, but you know what?
Congratulations.
Can't hurt. Congratulations, Tigers. Blayke Brailey reportedly re-signed with the Sharks for a further 4 years. Devilish, young, handsome man.
He is handsome.
And he is a really good player. So if they have signed him, it wouldn't have broken the bank. And as we've all seen, hookers, they're hot property.
Yeah.
He goes all right, Blake.
Yeah, I don't
Fucking
mind him.
Also,
Still relatively young.
2 Y's in his name is only a good thing.
Yeah, Blake.
Never a bad thing.
Like spelling Blake with a Y, which I haven't seen before.
No.
Great play.
It's a huge fucking
You know what?
play
You know,
for the Sharks.
if you'd never seen him play, and I showed you, wait, what do you reckon of this Blayke Brailey kid? Anyone that knows their Y's would tell you, must be a hooker, must play rugby league.
Yeah. He'd be a rugby league player of some note.
Yeah.
You see you've got a Y in your
If
first
he's playing a
name.
Y into a Y,
Yeah.
thanks for coming.
Especially a Y that not usually used in a name. Like, that's the dead giveaway. Blake with a Y is unnecessary, and that's why it works.
Yeah, it's totally unnecessary.
Do you reckon I could squeeze a Y into my name? Like between the Y, the R and the D?
Edward.
Edward E.
No, Edward.
No.
Edward.
Simpson with a Y. Sympson.
I like that. You could even drop in two. Like
Double
put the
Y.
You double the Y up.
Edward.
Well, you could just
Edwardy.
be, you're Eddy with a Y. So if you go Eddy, Y, into
Yeah.
Sympson.
Now I'm playing rugby league football
Yeah.
at a high
Yeah.
level and
You're-
dominating.
You'd immediately
Chopping
go,
blokes in half.
you'd go to Div 1 oztag first. As soon as the name change happened, you'd be immediately Div 1.
If I changed my last name, the way it's spelled, Eddy into Simpson with a Y, I honestly reckon, and I'm not talking shit, that I'd start getting calls from clubs
Yeah, 100% you
to
would.
come do like fucking
Train
trial and
trial.
trial.
Well, mate, the Dolphins.
I reckon I'd get some training trials. I honestly reckon I would.
You'd get a few training trials. You'd get at least 2.
I put it this way: if I changed it today, there'd be blokes down at oztag tomorrow night. There'd be scouts down.
Without a doubt.
running an eye over me, going, fuck, this kid can play.
He can play. He's playing
got
with Joey
something about
Manu.
him,
He's
this
showing
kid.
up Joey Manu too.
Yeah.
He's a footballer. This
He's a
kid.
footballer, this
Is that
kid.
Joey Manu outside him? That he's not giving any nut to?
Yeah.
Must
Yeah.
be pretty good.
Has he just dummied to Joey and gone himself?
Yeah.
Sign this boy up.
Yeah.
How
That's
old's
the
he?
pair of a Y.
How old's he? 30?
30.
Perfect.
Fucking, not even 31 yet. He's still a kid,
Mate,
still
he
a
can
pup.
He's still a pup. He can do a job.
He could do a job.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm feeling that.
I'm feeling it too.
Sydney, for the first time, will host the Indigenous All-Stars match. I love the All-Stars match.
Fucking
Same.
love it.
Love
So
it.
sick.
It's so much better than the old system where, like, the world team.
No,
versus
that
Indigenous.
sucked.
That was shit.
I hated
And
that.
it was like you got to pick a player from each club, and it's like, no, dude.
No,
the
no,
Indigenous
no,
All-Stars
no.
is the play.
And, like, the Indigenous players were actually playing for something. World All-Stars were just, like, a bit of fun.
Yeah.
You need both teams to give a fuck.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, otherwise it was just a bit weird.
It was just weird. Like, it is almost trivializing the match because, like, it meant a lot to these people, obviously. And that part of the All-Stars was fantastic. The ability to get out into communities and do all that stuff. But the passion that the Māoris and the Indigenous bring, I like love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's truly the old one. Put it this way: the old one was like the only good thing about it was the Indigenous side. It was like World Club Challenge in how keen I got for it. Whereas this one, I'm actually fully looking forward to it. All week I'm going, fuck, can't wait. Like, it's going to be the first 20 minutes are crazy because they're so keen. The war dances at the start are hectic. And also it covers more bases because I think it's nearly 60% of the NRL, or like it's at least 50, are either Indigenous or Polynesian now.
It's crazy.
So you got to have
It's
it.
crazy. You definitely have to have it.
Yeah.
What's the date of it?
I think it's the 22nd of like February maybe.
Is it 2 weeks before the start of the season, maybe?
Yeah, it
February
goes
needs
that
sporting
Charity
events
Shield.
as well.
I think it goes that Charity Shield week off NRL season.
Right, so it'll be like mid-Feb, mate.
February 12th.
Well, there's
Well,
fuck
there we
all
go.
sport in February.
Mid-12th.
It's the
That's a
leanest month
great
of the year,
start.
so it's
That's a
great
great
to get
start.
a big game like that in.
Love that. Where are they hosting it? Is it
Bankwest.
Combank Stadium.
Or
Combank.
yeah.
Which
Cool.
is...
Which one's Combank? Is that
Bank,
the-
Combank's-
Bankwest.
Bank West
They've
is now
changed the name.
Combank.
Oh, Bankwest is
Yeah.
No,
wow.
wow. Varley Bank West.
Varley Bank. That was a short-lived. Bankwest struggling.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
Bankwest they're struggling the bank.
Well, maybe
Same
Combank just go, we want a bit of that steepness.
yeah.
They've got deep pockets.
Oh.
They got the protractors out. They said, fucking hell.
This
It
is
is
the
as
steepest
steep as they
stadium.
said.
Yeah.
We need to get around this. And they
Well,
have.
dude, if you see a stadium as steep as Bank West, well, formerly Bank West, you go, we need our name on that.
You can't allow another bank to dominate you in the steepness department.
Mate, it's all about steepness when it comes to banking. Combank knows that.
Yeah.
Australia's biggest bank.
Which bank?
Combank. I will struggle to not say Bank West though.
know.
I don't know when I'm going to change.
I tell you what, they got their bang for buck because they'll kind of always be known for that for initially.
Yeah.
Combank really missed a trick by coming in late.
Second bank to do it.
Second bank to do it. If they had done it first, they would have had way more impact. Because when someone says Combank Stadium, I was like, where the fuck is that?
Yeah. Never heard
honestly
of it.
didn't know about it. Steepness can only get you so far though. Now, cricket. The Ashes starts 1 week from today. How excited are you guys?
At 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
10, 11,
20.
12, 30,
Yeah.
Now, I want to
1,000.
piss you off a little bit. Perth Test is in doubt because of the border restrictions.
Yeah.
Where should they play instead?
SCG.
How
SCG.
could there's surely
SCG.
we have to move on from this.
Yeah.
And live with it.
Live with, but also like live with it as a
Fuck.
country. At the very least, live it as a country,
Yes.
right? Like we're all like, let's just all be fucking stuck in the shit.
Oh my, like,
Mount Gowan doesn't fuck that way.
No, but he's sweet. You're not getting it then. Like whatever. Okay, you don't get the fucking
but
test.
like, what is
14 days, dude.
what is the
14-day
point?
quarantine you need to get into
South
Perth.
Australia, no cases in South Australia. 14-day quarantine. From South Australia to Western Australia.
I just,
We're done with this now. In
Like-
terms of like everyone's vaccinated.
everyone's vaccinated.
He's not. He's not done with it.
No, he's not.
And their test isn't till mid-January. And they're 50-50.
Yes, I
So it's not
just-
tomorrow. It's not next week. It's like a month and a half away. And he's still putting in his feet. But I would say this. Sydney, the greatest city in the world.
Yeah, on Earth, without a doubt.
The greatest cricket ground on planet Earth. With the most rich history. Also, spin comes into it days 4, days 5. Should get 2 tests. Fuck Melbourne. Their pitches let us down.
Yeah, I was going to say Melbourne has pitch, like they almost had to cancel them a few years ago because the pitch was so
They
bad.
almost lost their test status.
Because
They weren't allowed
so
to.
bad.
If they rolled out one more shit pitch, they would have lost their ability
How
to
can you
hold
roll
a
out a
test.
shit pitch? That's what I'm like.
Because they've got drop-in pitches, and they're like, oh, drop-in pitches are so hard, but they've had drop-in pitches at the MCG for like 25 years. So I don't know what the fuck they're on about.
Like it's such a cheap thing for such a big thing. You know what I mean? Like it's a test. You can't get the pitch right.
It's don't fuck the pitch up, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's the one thing you cannot fuck up.
Also, because they're drop-ins, they've got like fucking 6 or 7 on the go. Like you can't, you shit the bed with all of them?
Yeah,
Be
it's
better.
bizarre. It's bizarre.
Be better.
I don't know how. It's like such an easy thing to not fuck up. Just don't fuck it up. It's a test match. It generates so much revenue, and you've got crazy.
No, but so we just go back to back Sydney New Year's test into.
So you play Sydney into Sydney.
Play Sydney into
They
Sydney.
don't have to travel around anymore. It's the end. You can go. All right, we're all in Sydney. We can hang out here, kick back, and
Yep.
then
Relax. Put the feet up.
wrap it up
Rip and
5-0.
tear. 5-0. Bang. Thanks for
5-0.
coming.
Thanks
Fuck
for
you,
coming.
Western Australia. The only thing that will annoy me about that is that the Perth test, phenomenal viewing for the eastern states because of the time delay. So you get like 2-day nighters essentially.
It still will be mid-gen. So like,
I don't know if you've seen this as well, but they have like 10 or so days this year where there's a whole day of test and then 2 back-to-back Big Bash games. There's like 10 of those this summer. So there's
you
cricket
play
from,
a whole day of test cricket into back-to-back Big Bashes.
so it's 10 a.m. till midnight.
Love that.
That's it, baby. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Australia win 5-0. Thanks for coming. See you
Yeah, we
later.
win 5-0. We win 5-0.
And also thoughts on the Tim Payne having to step away due to his mental health due to some piece of shit leaking this stuff.
Yeah.
Feel sorry for him. He's
Yep.
done a lot for the nation. God knows that. We know that. The nation knows that. Thoughts with Tim. Hope he's doing all
And his
right through a
family.
trying time.
Yeah, and his family.
Tim's a fucking one of the great Australians. I'll say that. He took us from a really bad place.
Yeah.
From a cricketing perspective.
But also from a perception perspective, right? Like we were fucking cheats. And then he revamped the image. Obviously, cheated on his misso, not morally the right thing to do, but like.
But that was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
After
He's a
that,
different man.
after he did that, look what good he did.
Yeah.
He did a lot of good.
He also wasn't the captain when he did it. He was like, it was all pre this, but it's just like, and Pat Cummins, the new skipper of the nation, old Blue Eyes, said it in one of his first media things, was like, we got to be kinder to people and allow people to make mistakes and grow and come back from like, fuck ups here. It just seems like
fuck-ups that are private.
exactly a private fuck up. But he was like, I'm gonna captain young kids at some point, like 19, 20-year-olds who come into the side. Like, are we saying that they can't fuck up and then grow as individuals, as human beings? Like, it just seems the whole thing's sad. Feel sorry for Tim, but
And his family, man, far
Yeah.
out. Having to go through this again, like the strength they would have had to get through it the first time, and then they, whoever leaked this, like what kind of human being? Also, if that story comes across your desk,
But it's come across their desk many, many, many times, and no one's printed it. So while they printed it this time, I'm like, fuck you guys.
like that comes across my desk, I'm just like, I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. Like I'm not going to.
Problem is they'll find someone to do it.
But they haven't. They haven't found someone to do it for a long time.
Yeah, but they have now.
But I'm saying that's what's unfortunate about it, is that they've known about this for years, the journos, most of them.
That's
even like the higher ups, it's got to go through a few. There's got to be a few people that green light that, at least 4 or 5, because it's such a big story too. So the editor, I assume, are we going to do this? Goes to his boss. Are we going to do this? Goes to their boss. Are we going to do this? You know what I mean? Like there's a numerous amount of people that go, you know what?
Fuck it,
let's do it. Thoughts on Alex Carey being his replacement? How much
I
better?
like it. He's obviously represented the country before in one day as I don't know if he captained a one day before. He might have. I think in an instance where maybe Finch has been out. I don't know, but he's good. He's sort of done. He's bided his time. There's another guy, Inglis, who unfortunately has an English accent, and that's just not going to cut it for me. Unless there's like a mountain of undeniable runs, which there aren't. Like I think he's very good, but he's hails from England, so he can get fucked, especially in an Ashes year. So yeah, I think Kerry comes in. Good looking dude.
That always helps. When in doubt, go hot.
Yep.
Good clubman too. So if they do pick him, which I think they will, all the best.
All right. That is another episode done and dusted. Don't forget, join the Bloke Club, www.bloke.club. Bloke singlets dropping next Tuesday, 6 p.m. for Bloke members only. Make sure to follow Hello Sport at Hello Sport, punters and dribblers. They've got their drop 6 p.m. Sunday. I think that's it. Grab a case of Bloke in a bar, the perfect beer for summer, perfect beer for sport. Anything to let off the chest?
I think he fucking did it nice.
Nailed it. All right, as usual, I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.